starting off by saving a little girl, rewarded with 3 billion. Life is miserable when facing adversity, but the system will roar at you. On the eve of the college entrance examination, Yang Ming, a top student, suffered a sudden high fever because of his bravery in saving a drowning girl, which led to his failure in the exam. At the same time, he was humiliated and abandoned by his green tea girlfriend. Just when he was desperate, he turned a disaster into a blessing and opened the Diamond Life Supreme system, which made him rich and powerful. Green tea girlfriend, please, dear, it's all my fault, I shouldn't have treated you like that, please forgive me. Yang Ming, get out. You used to be indifferent to me, but now I am out of your reach. Yang Ming went further and further on the road of pretending. Chapter 1. Soft and cute lowly marshmallow. Fuck you, bitch. On the streets of Shanghai, Yang Ming, who has always been excellent in both character and academics, couldn't help but swear. He failed the college entrance examination. Just 15 minutes ago, he learned that he had failed the exam. Yang Ming, who was the top scorer in Shanghai in the first, second, third and fourth mock exams, had a final college entrance examination result that could only be described as horrible, and was several points short of the third-tier line. But this can't be blamed on him. The day before the college entrance examination, he jumped into the Huangpu River to save a girl who fell into the water. Then, he had a high fever for a long time. No one with a high fever of 39.5 can get a good score. Of course, just because of this, the weak and humble Yang Ming would not swear in the street. The more important reason is that he called his girlfriend 10 minutes ago to seek comfort. No, at this moment, she should be called ex-girlfriend. Hello. Who is this? Oh? Really? But what does this have to do with me? I did very well in the exam, you know, I'm so happy now. How can I do this? Yang Ming, listen to me, from this moment on, it's over between us. What was I like before? Do you think I, Lu Shutong, agreed to be with you because I really liked you? You didn't even piss to look in the mirror, you have no money and you smell like a country bumpkin. You are just a farmer's son who is only fit to farm for the rest of your life. Even if I, Lu Yatong, am blind, even if I see you, I may not like you. You still want me to comfort you? Idiot. To tell you the truth, I just found an excuse to let you help me with my homework every day. I was thinking that it would be okay to sacrifice my looks, but I didn't know that you, an idiot, didn't even dare to touch my hand. Ha 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 ha. I laughed to death. But then again, I was able to get into a key university in Shanghai this time thanks to you, thank you, country bumpkin. Goodbye, never see you again. Bitch. Yang Ming clenched his fists, his nails pierced into the flesh, and blood flowed through his fingers. Little brother, why did you scold me? A gentle voice suddenly came from behind Yang Ming, crisp and pleasant, like a graceful lark. Yang Ming turned around abruptly. I saw a beautiful girl in a white Lolita lace dress standing in front of him. She was barefaced, with an oval face as white as snow. Knee-length black socks, round-toed leather shoes, revealing a small part of her thigh like tender lotus root. At the age of 18 or 19, she is cute and beautiful, like a porcelain doll, as if she is an angel fallen from heaven to earth. She pursed her pink cherry lips, as if she felt a little wronged because of being scolded, and a crystal teardrop on her lower eyelashes made people want to rush up and caress her. I'm sorry, I'm not scolding you. Yang Ming was a little stunned for a while. Seeing Yang Ming's appearance clearly, the girl's star-like eyes suddenly lit up. Brother Yang Ming, it's really you, I thought it was just now, but I didn't expect it was really you. The girl threw herself into Yang Ming's arms, hugged his waist, and rested her head on Yang Ming's chest, arching and arching, like a restless kitten. I've been looking for you so hard, brother Yang Ming told her. The girl's tears fell down, crying as soon as she said she would cry, and her appearance of pear blossoms in the rain made people feel so distressed. Yang Ming's body froze there. He had never had such close contact with any girl before. Just like the bitch said, he didn't even dare to touch her hand when they were together. Yang Ming was full of question marks at this moment. He felt that the girl looked familiar, but he couldn't remember where he had seen her. Brother Yang Ming, don't you remember me? More than half a month ago, you rescued me from the Huangpu River. You even gave me mouth-to-mouth sex when you rescued me underwater. Have you forgotten all this? Looking at the girl's eyes drooping and blushing shyly, Yang Ming slapped his thigh fiercely. It turned out to be you. Yang Ming remembered that it was because of saving her that he dropped out of school and broke up with his lover. But thinking about it carefully, he couldn't blame her entirely. She was responsible for dropping out of school, but the breakup was purely caused by the bitch. Why are you looking for me? Could it be that you are here to repay a favor? Brother Yang Ming, can you be my boyfriend? The Lolita girl lowered her head and was shy. Yang Ming opened his mouth wide. Is there really such a thing? To repay a favor with your body? Brother, don't get me wrong. I only need 1 day. My parents forced me to go on a blind date with someone I don't like. I want you to help me deal with it, Tilda. How old are you? You graduated from high school, but your family forced you to go on a blind date. It turned out that it was not a promise of love. Yang Ming was a little disappointed. Such a beautiful and lovely lowly girl, it would be nice to be a girlfriend. 10,000 times better than that bitch Lu Shutong. Don't worry about it. Can you agree? The little girl pulled Yang Ming's arm and shook it gently to act coquettishly. Yang Ming, a novice who had never touched a girl's hand, couldn't stand this. Okay, I promise to help you, Tilda. Yeah. Lolita jumped 3 feet high. I knew that brother Yang Ming is the best. Tilda. Standing on tiptoes, the little girl quickly kissed Yang Ming on the face. The fragrance was fragrant. The slightly cool touch was soft, like a piece of cotton candy, which was intoxicating. Chapter 2 Standing Up. The novice Yang Ming was shocked. Brother Yang Ming, I'm leaving first. I'll find you tomorrow. The little girl was satisfied and ran away, leaving Yang Ming with only a pretty back. Hey, girl, I don't know your name yet. My name is Mu Hongli, you can also call me Xiaoyer Tilda. Under the setting sun, Mu Hongli waved without looking back. Xiaoyer. Yang Ming couldn't help but pursed his lips, and the lovely golden back was fixed in his eyes. His originally impetuous heart seemed to calm down at once. Ding, congratulations, you are brave and helpful, and unlock the Diamond Life Super Supreme system. A mechanical voice suddenly appeared in his mind, and Yang Ming thought there was someone behind him. But the next second, an AR screen appeared in front of him. Diamond Life Unlock Reward, 51% of the shares of Tiffany, the world's top jewelry and diamond company, plus 3 billion Chinese yuan cash reward. It's not a new scam, asking me to pay money to receive the prize, right? Are the scammers' methods of defrauding money so sophisticated now? They can use AI? Ding! Yang Ming's Nokia old phone rang. It was a text message. Architecture Bank, your bank card with the last number 952 has received 3 billion yuan in real time, and the current balance is 3,121.28 yuan. Yang Ming's mind buzzed. It's not a scam, this is actually true. I accidentally became a billionaire? Is this a dream? Dingling. The phone rang again, this time it was a call. Hello, Yang. International long distance call, in English. Who are you? Hello, Mr. Yang Ming. I am the president of Tiffany China. The headquarters asked me to ask for your opinion. You are now the largest shareholder of Tiffany. Do you want to go to the headquarters to be the president? It was not until this time that Yang Ming vaguely realized that this was true. Heaven is watching what you do. Not only did he accidentally become a billionaire, but he was also the CEO of a listed company with a market value of hundreds of billions of dollars. Good people will be rewarded. This person is worth saving. Don't worry, I won't interfere with the normal operation of the company. I will just pay dividends every year, Tilda. After hanging up the phone, Yang Ming had not yet woken up from this kind of luck that fell from the sky. Dingling. The phone rang again. It was Biazi, my best friend in high school class. Hey. Brother, are you coming to the high school farewell dinner tonight? I know about you and Lu Shutong. Otherwise, you'd better not come. I heard that bitch found a rich man after breaking up with you and brought him here tonight. I'm afraid you'll be upset when you see him, Tilda. Go. Of course I'll go. Yang Ming said viciously. If you don't return to your hometown, you'll be like a brocade dress at night. Found a rich man? You should have said it earlier. Since you bitch like money so much, I'll use money to kill you tonight. Ding, unlock the achievement of Raging Hare, reward, a world limited for top supercars, a Hennessy Viper. Is this okay? Listening to their voice from the system in his mind, Yang Ming was shocked again. Before he could react. Swish Tilda. A completely silver lightning flashed in front of him. A streamlined and cool luxury silver supercar has stopped in front of him. "Hello, Mr. Yang Ming, this is the latest sports car you ordered, please check it." The old man in a tuxedo handed the key in his hand to Yang Ming respectfully. "Wow! Look at the sports car." Passers-by looked at him sideways. "Oh my god, am I seeing this right? This is the limited edition Hennessy Viper. It can't be wrong. I saw it online. There are only 4 units in the world. It can beat Ferrari and Bugatti at a speed of over 100. I heard that it has long become a rare edition that you can't buy with money." "Yes, I have also read the news. 2 years ago, this car was sold for 30 million yuan. It is still the kind that is invaluable. There should be no one in China. How come one suddenly appeared in Shanghai? Could it be a big deal from some super rich second generation?" Soon, a group of energetic young men gathered around to watch. Young people are full of vigor and vitality. The things that can make their hormones soar are girls and cars. Not to mention this world-class limited edition luxury supercar that you can't buy even if you have money. Look at that young man, he's not very old, and he's not dressed well. I didn't expect that the real person doesn't show his face. It seems that this world really can't judge a person by his appearance. The onlookers sighed. At this time, Yang Ming finally believed that this Diamond Life Supreme system was not a scam. It was a gift from God. The activation of various unknown achievements will bring huge surprises. 30 years in the East, 30 years in the West, Yang Ming stood up. Chapter 3. This is okay. I got my driver's license during the summer vacation of my second year in high school, but Yang Ming didn't expect that the first time he drove such a luxurious car. Night fell and the lights came on. The largest four-star hotel in Songshan, Shanghai, was bustling with blue sky and blue sea. At the entrance of the hotel. "Biazi, do you think Lao Yang will really come tonight?" "I don't know, but when I called him this afternoon, he said he would definitely come." "Why bother? I really hope Lao Yang won't come. Lu Shutong is such a jerk. I heard that she got together with that bald guy in her second year of high school. Isn't this cheating on Lao Yang?" Several boys gathered together and looked around. Although their academic performance was not very good, they were all Yang Ming's best friends. Generally speaking, the relationship between good students and bad students in high school was clear-cut. But there was one exception. That was sports competition. Yang Ming had good grades, and they had poor grades, but everyone liked to play basketball. Yang Ming is good at playing basketball and often leads his group of brothers to kill people on the court, so their friendship is formed. Now that Lu Shutong is taking advantage of Yang Ming's misfortune and stabbing him in the heart, they naturally share the same hatred for the enemy. "Biazi, look at that." Suddenly a boy screamed. "Oh my god." Chen Biao turned his head and his eyes widened. "Am I seeing it right? The legendary super sports car Hennessy Viper. That's right. A top luxury car worth more than 30 million. I didn't see it just now. How come it stopped there while I was talking? Who do you think it belongs to?" Several boys stared at the front yard of their hotel and listened to the silver super sports car in amazement. Who knows? There are so many people in their hotel. Maybe there are super rich second generations hiding inside. Anyway, it has nothing to do with us. Let's just watch the excitement. That's not necessarily true. Maybe it belongs to our classmates. Biazi said jokingly. Come on, if we had such a classmate, it would have spread all over the class. Just as these brothers were laughing and cursing, Yang Ming appeared from nowhere holding a bottle of Fanta. I saw you standing here as a door god from a distance, what are you doing? Yang Ming smiled and handed the drinks to these brothers. In the past, he treated his brothers to mineral water after playing ball, but now that he has made a fortune, he treats his brothers to Fanta. Don't blame Yang Ming for being stingy, after all, the pattern needs to be cultivated. You can't shout to the world that I have 3 billion now, otherwise these brothers will treat him as a fool. Old Yang, you really came. The brothers had different expressions, but they all looked reluctant. Brother Ming, to be honest, we are waiting for you here. If it's your turn, you should leave, so as not to go in and get angry. Biazi advised. Leave? Why leave now that you are here? Yang Ming sneered. Old Yang, you don't know what that bitch Lu Shutong is like. She hooked up with a rich second-generation guy and wanted to step on every student's face, even the teacher. I really can't stand it. I advise you not to go in tilde. Rich second generation. Isn't it just money? Yang Ming said disdainfully. What do you mean? Several brothers looked puzzled. Did you see that car? Hennessy poison, we are not blind. The world's top luxury supercar, one car is enough to book this hotel. If I had this car, what would a poor second generation guy mean? I would help you step on that bitch Lu Shutong and rub her hard on the ground. Yang Ming smiled faintly, pointed to his nose and said, that car is mine tilde. Several brothers looked at each other, wanting to say something but stopping, with some reluctance on their faces. Brother, your fever hasn't subsided yet. Why are you still talking nonsense? Is there any sequelae of high fever? Biazi reached out to touch Yang Ming's forehead with concern. Is the Hennessy poison from Lao Yan? If they were not brothers, these buddies would have laughed their heads off. There should be a limit to bragging, right? They are all good friends who have bathed naked together, who can't know who is worth the other. They knew all about Yang Ming's pockets and his life experience. So at this time, the brothers just thought that Yang Ming was just angry and didn't take it to heart. Par. Yang Ming pushed Biazi's hand away. Take away your pig's trotter, believe it or not. After saying that, he strode quickly and headed straight for the hotel box. Several brothers stood at the back helplessly, and Biazi was even more worried and said, why does old Yarn like to be abused tilde? At this time, none of them thought that what Yang Ming said would be true. Ding, unlock the achievement, forge ahead, reward, 70% shares of the 4-star hotel Blue Sea and Blue Sky. In the hotel lobby, Yang Ming was stunned. This is also possible? Chapter 4 He is my boyfriend. Small details in life can unlock achievements and get rewards. This supreme system of diamond life is really amazing. But compared with the previous ones, this reward is small. The total valuation of Blue Sky and Blue Ocean is only about 20 to 30 million, and 70% of the shares are only about 10 to 20 million, which is even less than that of the Hennessy Venom sports car. Hello, Mr. Yang Ming. I am Liu Jin, the vice president of the hotel. Are you here to inspect the work? Would you like me to show you around? A fat man in a suit ran over with sweat all over his forehead. Liu Jin was originally the boss of this hotel, but now he is just an employee of Yang Ming. No need, just go about your business. The hotel will remain as it is in the future. I generally won't interfere with the management of the hotel tilde. With a wave of his hand, Yang Ming left the fat man with a dashing back view. Liu Jin wiped the sweat off his head and looked at Yang Ming's clothes, which cost less than 200 yuan. He sighed, now, the richer the people, the more low-key they are. I need to learn more from them in the future tilde. In fact, he didn't know at all that Yang Ming had just turned over a new leaf and had no time to buy any clothes. The farewell dinner box was brightly lit. Before Yang Ming entered the room, he could hear people talking inside through the screen. Tong Tong, I heard that you did well in the exam this time. You even got through last year's score line for Hudan University. Hudan is one of the top 5 universities in China. You are amazing tilde. It's all thanks to that idiot Yang Ming. If he hadn't helped me with my homework, I wouldn't have been able to pass the exam. Isn't it ridiculous? That idiot actually thought that I really liked him. Today he went downstairs and cried and shouted that he wanted to get back together with me. I was so funny. Har ha har har tilde, their voice belonged to Lu Shutong. Outside the door, Yang Ming's face turned cold. Tong Tong, Yang Ming is quite handsome, and in addition to studying, he has been particularly considerate and gentle to you in life over the past 2 years. Don't you feel a little moved? A girl in the class said cautiously. Bar. What's the point of being good-looking? Can being gentle and considerate earn you a living? He's just a peasant, why should I like him? You little girls just like to be crazy about it, with the mentality of high school students. In today's society, money is the bottom line. If you don't have power and influence, you can only go back to farming, there is no future tilde. Yang Ming has a good relationship with his classmates in the class, but tonight Lu Shutong and her boyfriend acted too strong. Even this farewell dinner was treated by her boyfriend, who was said to be the owner of this 4-star hotel. As their host was the boss, her classmates were reluctant to speak up for Yang Ming. Look at my husband. He's about to be the boss of a listed company. He's worth tens of millions and he treats me well. He's the happy man. Lu Shutong lay sweetly in the arms of the man beside her. The man frowned slightly. His name is Shin Song. He is actually a manager at Blue Sky. His annual salary is for 500,000, which is not as exaggerated as Lu Shutong said. However, he did not refute it, because seeing these fresh out of school students looking at him with her maid Shin Song, who was bowing and nodding in front of big clients, feel the superiority of being a successful person. Besides, in his eyes, Lu Shutong was just a bus. He and she were both willing to do what they wanted and he was just cooperating with her to show off. After all, she had served him so wholeheartedly last night. What's more, among this bunch of student girls, there is a stunning beauty sitting opposite. If he can use this to win over that beauty, he will make a fortune. Lu Shutong, you've gone too far. The beauty suddenly stood up, and Shin Song's eyes widened. The girl has a shoulder-length ponytail, big bright eyes and a short-sleeved white shirt. She is stunningly beautiful even without makeup. She is totally different from Lu Shutong, the slutty bitch with heavy makeup on. There was a round table in the box, and most boys could only see her crotch when she stood up, but this beauty still had most of her thigh left on it. Wearing 3/4 jeans, her skin is delicate and glowing white. There is a peak 3 inches above the navel, and a secluded path 7 fen below the navel. Shin Song swallowed subconsciously. 3 years of bloody profit, the death penalty is worth it. What a pair of long legs. I can play with them for the rest of my fucking life. What right do you have to say that about Yang Ming? What's wrong with being a farmer? Weren't your ancestors farmers? Isn't farming honorable? Even if you don't like him, you can't discredit his sincerity towards you. If it weren't for him, would you have been able to get into such a good school? The beautiful woman clenched her fists and her voice trembled slightly. Perhaps she was a little nervous because it was her first time speaking in front of so many people, but from her angry eyes, it could be seen that she really could not bear it anymore. Do you know how much Yang Ming has done for you in the past 3 years? He runs a few extra kilometers every morning just to buy you a cup of your favorite milk tea. He prepares lessons until 12 o'clock every night to help you prepare for your lessons. He also likes playing basketball so much, but did he ever go to the basketball court for you once in senior year? It's fine if you don't appreciate it, but why do you have to insult him? Zheng Sisi, are you sick? Everyone looked at Zheng Sisi in shock. Firstly, it was not until today that I realized that Zheng Sisi's appearance and figure are so good, she is simply a fairy level. Secondly, this girl is usually the top student in the class, second only to Yang Ming. She is the type who studies hard but doesn't even make a single move. Yet today, she actually confronted Lu Shutong for Yang Ming's sake. That idiot, I can scold him however I want. He doesn't even dare to say anything. It's none of your business. Lu Shutong stared at Zheng Sisi fiercely. What's your relationship? He told her. Zheng Sisi was forced into a corner by Lu Shutong, feeling nervous and scared. Finally. He is my boyfriend. Zheng Sisi blurted out with her eyes closed and her fists clenched. She would not allow anyone to insult Yang Ming just to save her reputation. Chapter 5, Simple and Crude. The good cabbages are eaten by pigs. This was Shin Song's first reaction. This beautiful woman actually protects a man who even looks down on Lu Shutong on the bus. Jealousy made him hate Yang Ming even before he met him. The box suddenly became quiet. Yang Ming is Zheng Sisi's boyfriend. Isn't Yang Ming a couple with Lu Shutong? When did he become Zheng Sisi's girlfriend? Moreover, Zheng Sisi's appearance and figure are so amazing. Why didn't I notice it before? Some people were surprised, while others felt deeply regretful. If they had known this would happen, they would definitely have pursued Zheng Sisi. Some people also sighed that Yang Ming was so lucky that he could enjoy the blessing of having many wives. But no one knew that this was not the case at all. Zheng Sisi. Outside the door, Yang Ming looked at the girl who stood up for him with great surprise. She is certainly not his girlfriend. It's just that they have been neighbors since childhood. 6 years of primary school, 3 years of junior high school, and 3 years of high school. Yang Ming suddenly realized that this usually quiet little girl next door had actually been in the same class with him for 12 years. Maybe she has always been weak and timid, burying herself in study and not liking to talk, so her presence is very low. Yang Ming only remembered that during these years, whenever he went to and from school, there was always a thin figure following him not too far away. Yang Ming even got used to her existence and took care of her like a younger sister. If I remember correctly, there were several times in junior high and high school when hooligans outside the school bullied her, and I always stood up for him. But why didn't I realize that this little girl was so beautiful before? Seeing this little girl who usually stuttered when talking to her classmates actually quarreled with the bitch Lu Shutong for him, and even said the word girlfriend to help him vent his anger, Yang Ming suddenly felt that there was still a lot of warmth in this world. What did you say? When did you get together with that bastard Yang Ming? Lu Shutong's face turned green. She grabbed Jing Sisi by the collar and said viciously, "Bitch! Tell me the truth, when did you two get together? That's what bitches are like. I can plant grass on your head but you can never cuckold me. What a shameless idea." I. Jing Sisi was frightened by Lu Shutong's ferocious behavior. She usually doesn't speak very clearly, so she has never seen such a scene before. She had just said those words out of sheer courage, and she had already used up all her courage. Let her go. His face suddenly turned cold, and Yang Ming strode over and pushed Lu Shutong away. The woman lost her balance in her high heels and sat down on the ground. Her miserable appearance caused many of her classmates, who were already upset, to laugh at her. Yang Ming. Jing Sisi covered her thin lips with her small hand. She thought Yang Ming would not come today. A blush appeared on her snow-white face. He is always like this, appearing in front of me when I need him most and protecting me behind him. Just like dealing with those little hooligans before. Yang, how dare you show up? Lu Shutong's face flushed. She felt very ashamed of the fall. Yang Ming, the instigator, also looked particularly hateful. You bastard, tell me the truth, when did you get together with this bitch? It's none of your business. Yang Ming no longer had a good expression. Being hurt, growing up fast. In the past, Yang Ming was blinded by one thing and this woman was good at acting so he didn't realize her true face. But what he saw, heard, and felt today made him see this woman's true face completely. What qualifications do you have to question me? Are you worthy? How dare you talk to me like that? She had felt very accomplished for playing with the feelings of a top student, but now she suddenly realized that she seemed to be the one being played with. This made Lu Shutong very angry. Bitch, did you seduce her? You stinky bitch, I'll tear you to pieces. Bang. Facing Lu Shutong who pounced on Jing Sisi, Yang Ming raised his hand and slapped her hard in the face. The steady, accurate and ruthless, clear and pleasant voice echoed throughout the lobby. You dare to hit me. Lu Shutong covered her face and looked at the boy in disbelief, with a ferocious look on her face. Shouldn't you be beaten? I'm telling you, Mr. Lu, if you keep saying dirty things to Sisi, my beating will be considered a light punishment. What's wrong with you? How can you hit a woman? Are you a man? Shin Song rushed up and pretended to hug Lu Shutong in his arms. Looking at Jing Sisi who was standing obediently behind Yang Mingchen, her eyes flashed with jealous anger. Yang Ming was so sensitive at this moment that he sneered, a man who hits a woman is not a man, but hitting a bitch is another matter. You bastard, you dare to scold me. Husband, help me deal with him. Aren't you the boss here? Have someone drag him out and beat him up. Let me vent my anger and get revenge for me. Okay, don't worry, I will help you vent your anger Tilder, Shin Song comforted Lu Shutong while his eyes were wandering on Jing Sisi's face. He must perform well and try to rub the balls of this reckless student named Yang Ming hard on the ground, and try to make this beautiful girl named Jing Sisi see who is the king and make her bow down under his jeans. Well, you have to be graceful and assertive, with the demeanor of a domineering president. Isn't that what young girls like nowadays? Isn't that how Lu Shutong got hooked up on the bus? After thinking it through, Shin Song decided to use courtesy before force. Young man, impulse is the devil. Immediately admit your mistake and apologize to Shutong. I can forgive you for the past. Otherwise, fuck you. Yang Ming was simple and rude. Chapter 6 Distinguished Guests. What the hell? A bitch who hooks up with other men behind her boyfriend's back and takes advantage of him during his most difficult time, now wants me to apologize to her? Fuck you. What did you say? Shin Song didn't react immediately. Is this little thing scolding me? He couldn't believe his ears. Didn't this bastard know that he had the final say in Blue Sea and Blue Sky? I said fuck you. Yang Ming spoke word by word. This time, everyone in the box was quite clear. Everyone looked at him in shock. It seems that it is a rare thing for old Yang, who is always well-mannered and respectful to his teachers, to swear. You dare to scold me? Do you have any manners? If it weren't for the desire to win Jing Cece's heart, Shen Song would have rushed up long ago. But now, he has to endure and behave like a gentleman. But Yang Ming didn't care about that. He was too honest in the past, which was why Lu Shutong played him around. Why should you be polite to a dog? I will treat you like the person you are. But having said that, you two are really a good match. There's a saying that goes, a bitch and a dog will be together forever. I wish you a happy marriage. Yang Ming said with a grin. To deal with a bitch, you have to use despicable methods. You seem very angry. Yang Ming was even happier, feeling a sense of revenge. Are you cuckolding me? Sometimes it's better to just curse at him and say fuck you than to punch him. I just like to see you hate me but can't get rid of me, and you have to promote the core values of socialism with me. At this moment, Yang Ming felt really great. Shen Song, who was still holding his breath, was so angry that his mouth was almost crooked. How dare this bastard insult me and call me a dog? Little bastard, do you know who I am? What does it have to do with me who you are? No matter who you are, it doesn't prevent you from being a dog. Yang Ming said with a nonchalant attitude. Since I dared to step in today, I naturally want to vent my anger. You're looking for death. Security. Security. Drag him out. Shen Song finally couldn't help but yell, today I'll let you know that there are some people you can't afford to offend. You're right, Uncle Greasy. There are some people you really can't afford to offend. Yang Ming said jokingly. What do you mean? Why is this guy so calm? Does this guy have any background? Impossible. Security. Where are the security guards? What are you doing? Believe it or not, I will fire you all. Unfortunately, there was no movement outside the door. Shen Song felt something was wrong. Usually, his grandchildren would come over immediately when he shouted. At this time, Yang Ming slowly took out his Nokia. Hello? Is that Liu Jin? There's a guy who claims to be the boss of Blue Sea and Blue Sky. He wants to kick me out. Do you know him? I don't know his name, but he looks pretty arrogant. Yes, okay, I'll wait for you. Liu Jin? The students looked at each other in confusion, not knowing this person. Could it be the reinforcements that Lao Yang brought? Shen Song's expression changed slightly. Does this bastard know Liu Jin, the chairman of our Blue Sea and Blue Sky? Impossible. Lu Shutong clearly said that this kid's family was very poor, so how could he know Mr. Liu? You're just bluffing. I want to see how you can call Mr. Liu Tilder. Yang Ming did not explain and found a place to sit down leisurely. As soon as I sat down, a fat man in a suit appeared at the door of the box, panting, and looked inside nervously. Shen Song was shocked. Is it really Mr. Liu? He hurried over and said, Chairman, why did you come here in person? Why didn't you call me in advance so that I could pick you up in person Tilder? Who would have thought that Liu Jin didn't even look at him, and his chubby and cold face only suddenly brightened up when he saw Yang Ming's figure. He ran over happily, stood beside Yang Ming and said respectfully, Sorry Mr. Yang, I'm late and scared you Tilder. At that moment, not only Shen Song and Lu Shutong, but the entire box was silent. It was dead silent. Everyone stared at Yang Ming intently. They saw with their own eyes that Shen Song came forward like a pug, and it was obvious that he was a big shot. But she didn't even look at him but was fawning on Yang Ming. When did Lao Yang become so awesome? This is the charm of capital. He owns 70% of the shares of Blue Sea and Blue Sky, and is the absolute boss with absolute control. What is a mere lobby manager? I'm not scared, but there's a dog barking quite loudly. Can you help me deal with it? Yang Ming said indifferently. When Liu Jin heard this, he immediately looked at Shen Song next to him with a cold face. Shen Song, were you the one who asked the security guard to kick Mr. Yang Ming out? I. Shen Song was confused. Mr. Yang Ming. Don't you know that Mr. Yang Ming is our Blue Sea and Blue Sky honored guest? Liu Jin originally wanted to call him the boss, but when he thought of Yang Ming's cheap clothes worth less than 200 yuan, he knew that he was a low-key person, so he changed his words to call him the guest. It is very important to be able to clearly guess the boss's intentions, and Liu Jin felt a little proud of himself. Distinguished guest. Lu Shutong and Shen Song were both stunned. How is that possible? This bastard turned out to be Mr. Liu's guest. Chapter 7 Hennessy Viper. Tong Tong, what's going on? Didn't you say your boyfriend is the boss here? Then who is this person? Those who like to watch the fun are not afraid of trouble. Some classmates exposed the lies that Lu Shutong had boasted about before. Lu Shutong's face became even uglier. Boss. Liu Jin snorted coldly, Shen Song, you are just a lobby manager and you dare to call yourself a boss. Have you forgotten who pays you? You dare to be disrespectful to distinguished guests. From now on, your contract is terminated. Right now, you pack up and get out. What? You want to fire me? Shen Song exclaimed. What? I don't have the right to fire you. Liu Jin looked down at him. Boss Liu, you have to think carefully. I have a contract. If I fire you without reason, you will have to pay liquidated damages. Pay compensation. Liu Jin waved his hand. This blind idiot actually dared to offend the big boss. Compared with the big boss's face, the penalty of 1 or 2 months' salary is nothing. From now on, don't even think about working in the hotel industry in Songshan. Go get your salary from the finance department and get lost. Now that it has come to this, Shen Song simply stopped being respectful to Liu Jin. Okay. Mr. Liu, you are strong but I am not a pushover. Since you are willing to fire me for a jerk today, don't regret it in the future. And you little bastard, let's wait and see. After saying that, Shen Song ran away. Lu Shutong looked at Yang Ming with complicated eyes, and followed him dejectedly. Seeing Chairman Liu being so respectful to Yang Ming, he suddenly felt that this guy was not so annoying, and even became a little curious about Yang Ming's identity. Could it be that this guy is an invisible rich second generation? But she was too embarrassed to stay any longer. Well done, Mr. Liu, thank you for your hard work. Yang Ming patted Liu Jin on the shoulder. This made the latter flattered. No, you are too polite, Mr. Yang. This is what I should do. How can I say it's hard working for my boss? Yang Ming didn't waste any words. Cici, let's go to . There was no point in staying any longer, so he said hello to his classmates and went outside with Jing Cici. The students also felt that there was no point in staying any longer, so they all arrived at the door in a mighty procession. Swoosh . A BMW 5 rushed directly to the hotel entrance and stopped in front of Yang Ming provocatively. The glass was lowered, revealing Shen Song's gloomy face. Boy, I'm not a pushover. Today's matter is not over yet. Let's wait and see. Lu Shutong, sitting in the passenger seat of the BMW, finally felt more confident. If I remember correctly, Yang Ming only has one bicycle, and it is second hand. She also learned to speak harshly. I'll remember that you hit me today. Sooner or later, I will make you pay back 1,000 times. Looking at Shen Song and Lu Shutong, the couple, driving a BMW X5 worth less than 10,000 yuan and showing off and making threats in front of him. Yang Ming felt nothing in his heart, and even felt like laughing. He didn't say anything, but silently took out the key of the Hennessy luxury supercar Viper and pressed it lightly. Biu. There was a crisp sound not far away, and the lights of the supercar that everyone had noticed before flashed, and then the door slowly opened. Come on, Cici, let's get in the car too. In full view of everyone, Jing Cici, with a dull look in his eyes, was placed by Yang Ming in the passenger seat of the sports car. He carefully fastened his seat belt for him and closed the car door. Then, buzz. The roar of the sports car engine resounded through the sky. On the streets of Shanghai, Yang Ming rode away in a silver-white supercar, attracting the attention of countless young men and women and leading the way. The eyes of the people who stayed where they were completely dazed. Lu Shutong, Shen Song, Biaozi, and all those classmates. That was the Hennessy Viper, which they had discussed before. It was limited edition worldwide and worth over 30 million. That car actually belongs to Yang Ming? Shen Song's face was stiff, Lu Shutong's expression changed, and she felt as uncomfortable as if she had eaten shit. She looked at Shen Song beside her, and then at Yang Ming who was riding so fast, and suddenly this broken BMW didn't seem so attractive anymore. After a long silence, Biaozi and his gang finally jumped up excitedly. Fuck, what Lao Yang said before turned out to be true. Chapter 8 I wish you happiness. You bastard, that loser must have rented this for show. The corner of Shen Song's mouth twitched, even though he understood that a car of Hennessy Venom's level would be extraordinary even if it was rented. Because there are only 5 of them in the world. Would people who can afford it rent out their beloved car for money? But he seemed to be trying to convince himself. In the passenger seat, Lu Shutong also echoed, yes. How could that bastard afford such a nice sports car? He must have rented or stolen it. Deep down, she was unwilling to accept Yang Ming's rapid rise to fame. How can a piece of stinky shit that you dumped be more awesome than the rich guy that you worked so hard to find? This is the bandit logic of a bitch. YYGQ is so sour. Biazi had disliked Lu Shutong for a long time and walked over on purpose. Ha 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 ha, are you stupid? Didn't you two just listen to something awesome? And it's a listed company that. Thank you CC. Yang Ming was the first to break the silence. Thank me. Thank me for what? Zheng Cece looked up in confusion. The eyes as bright as stars just met Yang Ming's gaze. Looking at the pretty face so close to him, Yang Ming really felt like he was blind. Why did he ignore such a good girl around him and instead fall in love with that slutty bitch Lu Shutong? Thank you for saving my reputation tonight and saying I'm your boyfriend. Actually, Zheng Cece hesitated and lowered her head. She seemed very nervous and rubbed her hands nervously in front of her chest. Actually what? Actually, I'm very happy. Zheng Cece suddenly looked up. She mustered up her courage and looked firmly into Yang Ming's eyes. I'm very nervous to say in public that I'm your girlfriend, but I'm really happy. You know, Yang Ming, I've always liked you since I was a child. Even if you don't say a word to me, as long as you let me follow you silently, I'll be very happy. Yang Ming never knew that the taciturn Zheng Cece knew all his living habits. I know when you get up, when you go out, and when you bring breakfast and milk tea for Lu Shutong. I like to watch you sweat on the basketball court silently, and I like the way you think about problems in class the most. You look so handsome when you stand up to protect me, even though you are handsome yourself. Perhaps you never knew that throughout my childhood and youth, apart from studying, all I had in my eyes was you. After saying this, Zheng Cece felt exhausted, as if the last bit of strength in her body had been drained. For a quiet, weak and taciturn girl like her, there is only one situation in which she could make such a brave confession. That means I really like you to the core. You know what, brother Yang Ming, seeing you do so much for Lu Shutong but not getting anything in return, I feel so sorry for you. Shock. Surprised. There is much more that is incredible. Yang Ming's eyes widened. This was not the first time a girl confessed to him, but it was definitely the most shocking one. Because the girl in front of him had indeed left a mark in his heart. Cece, Yang Ming hesitated. This silly girl is too simple and too kind. Is she really suitable for me? Most of the quiet girls are very sensitive. Zheng Cece felt heartbroken when she sensed Yang Ming's hesitation. Don't say anything, brother Yang Ming, I understand. You will definitely find the right person in the future. I wish you happiness. Chapter 9, Won't you invite me in? The car stopped downstairs of Zheng Cece's house, and she almost ran away. The moment she got off the car, Yang Ming clearly saw tears welling up in her eyes like pearls falling from a broken string. Looking at Zheng Cece's back as she ran while wiping her tears, Yang Ming suddenly called her. Wait, Cece. Startled suddenly, Zheng Cece did not look back. Good night. Hearing the good night, Zheng Cece turned back suddenly, but at this time Yang Ming had already turned and left, leaving her with a waving back. Sweet dreams, little fool. Yang Ming secretly made up his mind, I had no choice before, but now I want them all. At that moment, Zheng Cece was overjoyed. After more than 10 years of waiting, there is finally a response today. She covered her mouth tightly, her eyes were misty, and her face was full of smiles. Even if it was just a little bit, she would be satisfied. When I got home, my parents and sister surrounded me immediately. Son, you're finally back. I scared you to death. Brother, where are you? You didn't answer the phone or reply to WeChat, we thought you. Their whole family knew that he failed the college entrance examination, and no one blamed him. Looking at the concerned eyes of his loved ones, Yang Ming suddenly felt like crying. Mom and Dad, I'm fine, I just want to relax. By the way, Mom, I decided to repeat the year. This was the decision Yang Ming made on his way back. Although he has the system and is already a billionaire, he still wants to do something. Although with his current financial strength, he could easily donate tens of millions to buy an admission letter from any university in the world, Yang Ming disdains to do so. It's good that you are all right. You can repeat the grade if you want. As long as you are fine, we will support you no matter what decision you make, tilde. As soon as Mother Yang finished speaking, the expression on Father Yang Jungwo's face turned ugly. Mai is in the first year of high school, and now I'm facing unemployment. How can our family have extra money to let Yang Ming repeat his studies? The father looked at Yang Ming with guilt. The family was indeed in a difficult situation. Don't worry, Dad. I can earn the tuition by myself. You don't have to worry about it, tilde. At this time, Yang Jungwo and his wife did not know that their son had already become a wealthy man with 3 billion in liquid funds. You earned it yourself. Everyone, including his parents and his younger sister Yang Mai, were shocked. Yes, Dad, please don't ask too much. By the way, I just heard you say that you are facing layoffs. What's the situation? Oh, forget it. The performance is not good and the superior company wants to terminate the contract with us. The factory can't afford so many people and our family has no connections, so we can only wait to be fired, tilde. Yang Jungwo shook his head helplessly. He has been under a lot of pressure these days. Yang Ming's heart moved slightly. What's the name of the superior company? The big foreign company, I think it's called Tiffany. They are a large enterprise with a market value of tens of billions of dollars. Why would they care about the lives of us small fry? If they say we won't cooperate, then we won't cooperate, tilde. When Yang Ming heard this, he was delighted. Tiffany? What a coincidence. Isn't that a company that I have absolute control over? Dad, don't worry. I promise you will never lose your job. Maybe your boss will even let you be the factory manager. Hello. Brother Yang Ming, you are such a lazy bum. It's almost 10 o'clock and you are still sleeping. Have you forgotten what you promised me yesterday? The next morning, Yang Ming was still sleeping when he was disturbed by a phone call from a girl. I looked at the caller ID and saw it was a completely unfamiliar number. Who are you? Yang Ming asked unhappily. Although the other person's voice was sweet and somewhat familiar, I was still a little grumpy after my good dream was disturbed. Humph. You actually forgot about me. You stinky brother. You lazy pig brother. You bad guy. I'm Sierra. Little fish. I'm going crazy. You didn't even remember my nickname, and I kissed you. The girl on the other end of the phone was getting mad. Speaking of relatives, Yang Ming finally remembered. Mu Hongli. The girl who fell into the water and whom he had saved promised him yesterday to help her with her parents' blind date. But how did this girl know my phone number? Oh, sorry, Sierra, I'm still sleepy. I remember, of course I remember, don't worry, I'll get up right away, tilde. What did you say? You were right outside my house. Yang Ming opened the door and looked at the little Lolita outside with a look of shock. It's really you. She was wearing a beige belly-bearing vest, a navy blue lace denim skirt, and a pink felt hat, looking very girlish. She was wearing a pair of black leather boots, and most of her calves could be seen. It is said that if you weigh less than 100 pounds, you are either flat-chested or short. But the little girl in front of me is not short at all, and her breasts are quite nice. She had a fair and rosy face. She stood there with her lips pouted and glared at Yang Ming in dissatisfaction, her peach blossom eyes full of resentment. Humph! You rascal! You actually forgot about me. Yang Ming scratched his head, he tilde. Indeed, I forgot. But this little Lolita is not simple at first glance. And you can know your own phone number and find your way home. Although there is no visible trademark on the clothes, you can tell at a glance that they are worth a lot of money. It seems that today's blind date will definitely not be easy to deal with. Yang Ming already felt a little regretful. Why didn't he just agree to this little Loli's sugar-coated cannonball? Aren't you going to invite me in? Mu Hongli said aggrievedly. Chapter 10. This is my boyfriend Yang Ming. Please come in, this place is simple, please sit anywhere, don't mind tilde, my sister is in cram school and my parents are at work. Yang Ming, who was on summer vacation, was the only one left at home. The little girl wasn't really angry. She looked around quietly, like a curious baby, looking around where Yang Ming lived. Soon, Yang Ming finished washing up. Let's go, tilde. Brother Yang Ming, are you going to follow me dressed like this? The little girl looked at Yang Ming, who was wearing sportswear, with a strange look in her eyes. What's wrong? Yang Ming looked himself up and down, and didn't think there was anything wrong. Although you are indeed very handsome, brother Yang Ming, you still need to dress up. We are going on a blind date today. If you wear sportswear, people will look down on you tilde. He really hadn't thought about it, but these are all the clothes I have. You've seen our family's conditions. Do you think I can afford Versace and Armani? Yang Ming didn't care much, these were all the clothes he had before, and although he was not short of money now, he had not had the time to buy new clothes. It's almost 11 o'clock, and it's definitely too late to buy clothes now. Fortunately, I was prepared. As she spoke, Mu Hongli took out an exquisite little box from her bag. As soon as I opened it, a men's watch came into view. Their high-end appearance, the extremely exquisite design, and the diamond-studded hands are dazzling. Yang Ming's eyes lit up. Come on, brother Yang Ming, put it on quickly. The little girl carefully put the watch on Yang Ming. During this time, Yang Ming secretly checked the internet. Oh! This Patek Philippe collection model, set with diamonds, is worth more than 8 million Chinese yuan. Although he was already worth a lot of money, Yang Ming was still shocked to see the girl not caring at all. That's good. Even if you're wearing sportswear, others won't dare to look down on you. He tilde Mu Hongli naturally took Yang Ming's arm. Although this was the third time they met, they didn't seem unfamiliar at all. Wait tilde, after going out, Yang Ming took the opportunity to go to the toilet to make a phone call. As the saying goes, it is impolite not to reciprocate. Since the little loli is so generous, he can't be stingy. Hello? Mr. Yang Ming, do you have any instructions? Owen, president of Tiffany China. Owen's words were full of awe towards this major shareholder who had to be polite even to the headquarters. I'm on Jianwen Road in Songshan now. Does the Tiffany display cabinet closest to me have any women's jewelry for sale? Please wait a moment, Mr. Yang Ming. I'll help you check. There are some on Jianwen Road in Songshan, just a few steps away from you tilde. Okay, I'll pick one for me. Don't be too shabby. I want to give it away tilde. Okay Mr. Yang Ming, please wait a minute and I'll have someone deliver it to you right away tilde. After hanging up the phone, Owen didn't dare to be negligent at all. Arrange the secretary to do it immediately. Send the angel star to a Mr. Yang immediately. The secretary looked surprised. Mr. Owen, Angel Star is the treasure of Tiffany's Washier district. It is not for sale and is currently on display. Are you sure you want to do this? Just do it if I tell you to. If you offend Mr. Yang Ming, not only you, a small secretary to the CEO, but even I will be kicked out. As a world-class jewelry brand, 1 or 2 pieces of jewelry are a piece of cake. But for the boss, the best is the best. This is Owen's life strategy. Faced with the big boss's anger, the young secretary was horrified. He hurriedly carried out the order, while muttering to himself. Who exactly is this Mr. Yang? Even his big boss respects him so much. Soon, Yang Ming got their angel star. Yang Ming put it on Mu Hongli. Heart-shaped sapphire necklace. Delicate and meticulous, the lace is embellished with tiny diamonds. 32 tiny Malay diamonds surround the sapphire in the middle like stars surrounding the moon. Their white and blue light complement each other, shining brightly on the little fish's snow-white neck. Wow! It's so beautiful. Brother Yang Ming, where did you get this? Why does it look so real? Mu Hongli's bright eyes were filled with peach blossoms. Girls are naturally unable to resist shiny things. What's more, this necklace is really great. Yang Ming touched his nose. Irving wouldn't give himself fake jewelry. With a faint smile, Yang Ming said, just pick whatever you like tilde. I like it so much, thank you brother Yang Ming, I like it very much tilde. The happy Mu Hongli stood on tiptoe and pecked Yang Ming's face like a chicken pecking at rice. Between men and women, if the person is right for each other, it doesn't matter whether they are true or false. I like anything you give me. Xiao Yue really has a good impression of his savior. Jinzuan, a famous 5-star hotel in Shanghai. In the top-class private room, Huakai Fugui Hall, Mu Jianju and Yang Hongying had been waiting for a long time. The couple looked towards the door from time to time, becoming increasingly anxious. Mommy, Daddy tilde, a soft and gentle voice came from the door, and Yang Hongying was delighted. Nan, you finally came. I was so scared. I thought you were not coming. She quickly stood up and held her daughter's hand, then she saw Yang Ming following behind Mu Hongli. He is Thinking of what her daughter said yesterday that she would bring her boyfriend today, Yang Hongyin frowned slightly, feeling something was wrong. Mommy, this is my boyfriend Yang Ming. Brother Yang Ming, let me introduce you. This is my mommy Tilda. Mu Hongli naturally took Yang Ming's arm. It is true. Yang Hongyin saw this and her face immediately fell while she secretly thought that it was not good. Nonsense. Mu Jianju slammed the table and said with a dark face, do you know what day it is today? Do you know what this meal means to our family? Boyfriend? Who admits that he is your boyfriend? Staring at Yang Ming, Mu Jinzhou's expression looked very ugly. Chapter 11. Make an offer. Although my daughter said yesterday that she would bring her boyfriend over today, I didn't expect her to actually do it. Of course, whether it was true or not, this boy would never get his approval. Daddy, why are you so fierce? I just acknowledge my boyfriend. Xiao Yu pouted, not afraid of her father's anger. You are my daughter. You don't need my consent to find a boyfriend. I tell you, Mu Hongli, I can indulge you in anything before, but you must listen to me in this matter. I thought you were sensible and wouldn't do anything reckless, but I didn't expect you to bring a man to the blind date party. Get him out. Right now. I don't. I am your daughter, but I am not an object. I have my own thoughts. Why should you make me marry someone I don't like? Because I'm your father. Mu Jianju slammed the table and stood up. Yes, you are my father, so I can sacrifice my daughter for your business. Mu Hongli's tears came out all of a sudden. Mu Jianju was so angry that his sore spot was touched that he raised his hand to hit someone. Hit me. Hit me. Just beat me to death, I don't want to live anymore anyway. The little girl tilted her neck, tears streaming down her face like beads that had broken off the string, which was so heartbreaking. You? Yang Hongyin quickly stopped him. Jianju, talk to Nan Nan nicely, don't do anything Tilda. Yang Ming stood there, feeling a little uncomfortable. He knew that today's scene would not be very good, but he didn't expect it to be so embarrassing right from the start. Uncle and aunt, can you listen to me? Shut up. Who do you think you are? How can you interfere in our family affairs? Mu Jianju glared at Yang Ming fiercely. When he saw the Patek Philippe in Yang Ming's hand, his face became even darker. Even if Xiaoyu recognizes you, I won't admit it. Get out of here. Get out right now. Yang Ming touched his nose. Although Mu Jinzhou's words were too harsh, he was not angry. Young man, why don't you sit outside for a while? We want to talk to our daughter alone. Tilda. Yang Hongyin's attitude was much better than her husband's. Most of the little Lolita's beauty was inherited from her mother. She has peach blossom eyes, willow-shaped eyebrows and an oval face, which is very charming. She is wearing a navy blue cheongsam, with excellent temperament and a smooth image, making her a charming and pretty lady. Is it okay? No. Mommy, if you dare him to leave, I will leave too. I will elope with him. After hearing such words, Mu Jianju was immediately furious but was still pulled down by his wife. The young woman smiled and said gently, Xiao Yuer, Mommy is not going to chase him away. Mommy and Daddy really want to have a good talk with you Tilda. She looked at Yang Ming. Is it okay, young man? Although his attitude was mild and polite, Yang Ming still sensed a sense of indifference that kept people at a distance. With a faint smile, Uncle and Aunt, you guys talk, I'm going to the bathroom Tilda. Of course Mu Hongli didn't agree, but Yang Ming said, Xiao Yuer, I won't leave. Come back later Tilda. Really? Her long eyelashes blinked, and large, crystal clear tears were about to fall. Mu Hongli looked pitiful, with pleading eyes. Yang Ming was her last straw. Don't worry, I won't lie to you Tilda. The little girl finally calmed down and Guige sat down on the sofa. Mu Jianju and Yang Hongyin looked at each other and were extremely shocked. When did my daughter start to listen to someone so much? This shows that this person is very important to my daughter. This is very dangerous. Yang Hongyin winked at her husband. Mu Jianju nodded, followed Yang Ming out of the box. In the corridor of the bathroom, Mu Jianju, who was smoking, handed Yang Ming a cigarette. Want to smoke? Specially supplied to Red Panda, top quality cigarettes that money can't buy. Yang Ming shook off the water on his hands. Thank you, uncle, I don't smoke Tilda. How old are you? Mu Jianju asked calmly. It was as if everything that had just happened in the box had never happened. 19 Tilda. Yang Ming said honestly. 19. Young and vigorous, that's good tilde. Mu Jianju smiled faintly. You are a good young man, name a price tilde. Uncle, I don't understand what you mean tilde. Don't you understand? Mu Jianju smiled. Whether you understand or not, I just want to tell you that your position determines your vision. Standing in this place, all you can see is a small place like Qingshan. I stand higher than you and see farther than you. I know there is a wider sky, where there are too many people who are better and more dazzling than you, and there is a wider and more dazzling world, and you don't deserve a tilde. Yang Ming frowned. Uncle, I really don't understand what you are talking about, please speak directly tilde. Mu Jianju pointed at the Patek Philippe on Yang Ming's wrist. That's mine. That's what I put in the safe, so I just said that you are very good to let that girl steal it for you. Name your price. I'll give you this watch and some money if you leave my daughter alone. Chapter 12. You stole it. Make an offer. Seeing Mu Jianju look as if he had completely seen through him, Yang Ming wanted to laugh. Then you can also name a price tilde, Yang Ming said calmly. What do you mean? Now it was Mu Jianju's turn to be confused. Actually, I'm quite curious, uncle. Your daughter is so beautiful, but why do you insist that I am after your money instead of her looks? Yang Ming smiled jokingly. What I covet is her beauty. I'm going to sell her anyway, so it doesn't matter who I sell her to. At least your daughter likes me a little, right? What's your price? How much do you want to sell your daughter to me? Yang Ming could understand Mu Jianju's behavior, but even a clay Buddha would get angry. You little bastard, you're looking for death. Mu Jianju was angry. He really needed his daughter's marriage this time to further his career, but it was also for the sake of the family. Moreover, he believed that the other party would be good to his daughter and would not simply sell his daughter. This brat is simply insulting himself with his words. He even kept saying that he was attracted by my daughter's looks. He is simply a shameless hooligan. What made Mu Jianju most angry was that this bastard had obviously done his homework on him beforehand. This shows that his ambitions are very big and we have to be on guard against them. Are you angry? Or do you think I can't afford it? Give it a try. How can you know if you don't try? Maybe I can really afford it tilde, Yang Ming said indifferently. Mu Jianju's guess was correct. Mu Hongli could find out Yang Ming's phone number and address, so Yang Ming naturally had a way to find out Mu Hongli's background. When asking Owen for their angel star, Yang Ming also inquired about Mu Hongli's family background. It turns out that Mu Jianju is the owner of a Tiffany jewelry store in China. Because of the broken capital chain, there were big problems with the supply of goods. In order to solve this problem, I specially arranged a blind date for my daughter. The other party is the son of Tiffany's general distributor in China, and controls the supply of all offline stores in China. The other party promised that as long as the marriage was successful, they would provide Mu Jianju with the convenient condition of receiving the goods first and paying later. As long as the marriage is completed, Mu Jianju's crisis will be resolved. However, Mu Jianju and Yang Hongying did not expect that their daughter would be rebellious first, and Yang Ming would bite the bullet halfway behind her. You rascal, you can eat whatever you want but don't say anything you want. Don't think you can do whatever you want by deceiving my daughter. Be careful of what you say. Mu Jianju was very angry. Yang Ming didn't care. Uncle Mu, I'm still willing to call you uncle because I came here for Xiao Yuer today, but you should also know yourself and don't be so shameless tilde. You. Mu Jianju's eyes were as sharp as shooting stars. It was the first time that he was pointed at and scolded by a young boy of 18 or 19 years old. Where does this bastard get the confidence from? That's all I have to say. Take care of yourself. After saying that, Yang Ming turned around and left without even looking at me again. Of course he won't leave. Although Yang Ming does not have much social experience, his strength lies in his love of learning. He was filled with theoretical knowledge and had grown a lot after experiencing Lu Shutong's experience. Most importantly, he is a man of his words. When I returned to the box, there were two more people. One black, one white, one tall, one young. The two men were about 60% similar. The older man had a gloomy and treacherous look. The young man was dressed in a white suit and all his clothes were of the finest quality. He looks like a handsome young man, but not as stylish and handsome as Yang Ming. His eyes are full of arrogance and disdain. This should be Tiffany's offline general distributor in China, and the young man is the one who had a blind date with Mu Hongli. Brother Yang Ming, please go away. Go away, tilder. Xiao Yue, who had hoped that Yang Ming would come back before, suddenly changed her expression. She abnormally urged Yang Ming to leave quickly. Want to leave? Not that easy. Shenlan, Mu Hongli's blind date, quickly blocked the door. Get out of the way. I picked up this necklace and it has nothing to do with Brother Yang Ming. Brother Yang Ming, please go away, go away. The little girl's tears fell, with a guilty look on her face. What happened? So far, Yang Ming was still confused. Go to the bathroom, what happened? Looking at the guy who stopped him, Yang Ming felt confused. What's going on? Mu Jianzhu came in from behind Yang Ming and looked at his wife Yang Hongying. It turned out that during the time when Yang Ming was out, his blind date partner, Shen Sanhai and his son Shenlan, arrived. As the general distributor of Tiffany jewelry in China, Shen Sanhai recognized the angel star on Mu Hongli's neck at a glance. This is the treasure of Tiffany's China headquarters, a masterpiece created by Joy Jay, a world-class jewelry designer. Unique jewelry designs worldwide. It symbolizes pure and flawless love, and its significance far exceeds the value of the jewelry itself. It belongs to Tiffany's collection of jewelry that is not for sale. If we must have a valuation, Tiffany's internal reference price is 68 million Chinese yuan, for reference only. At first, the little girl didn't know the value of the necklace and foolishly said that Yang Ming gave it to her. Shen Sanhai and Shenlan found out that Yang Ming was Xiao Yue's boyfriend and were shocked when they heard it. I have never heard of anyone named Yang Ming among the senior executives of Tiffany China. And this necklace is on display at the Jianwen Road branch. So there is only one possibility, that this necklace was stolen or robbed by this guy named Yang Ming in order to please the lowly. Shenlan immediately got angry and called the police. Did you steal it? Mu Jianzhu looked at Yang Ming. He didn't expect that this brat would dare to steal such a valuable thing. Chapter 13 Not for sale. Compared to this, the Patek Philippe watch full of diamonds is nothing. Yang Ming pulled out a chair and sat down, then he understood what was going on. Is it important? Don't you believe me if I tell you so? Yang Ming asked with a smile. He was not worried at all. I'm telling you, young man, you're breaking the law. Go turn yourself in and try to get leniency. Turn yourself in? Dream on. I've already called the police, there's no chance for him to turn himself in. Shenlan jumped out and shouted, You ignorant fellow, you stole things and came to our company, you'll never get out again in your life. Brother Yang Ming, please leave quickly. Mu Hongli cried sadly. She felt very guilty and thought she was the one who harmed Yang Ming. Don't worry, I'll be fine. Yang Ming comforted her. What a pretentious act. A toad wants to eat swan meat, and a poor loser wants to date a swan. Go to jail and dream on. It won't be long before Xiao Yue will be my wife tilder. Looking at the little Lolita's angelic face and imagining her enjoying herself under him, Shenlan felt a surge of heat in his heart. Looking at Yang Ming again, he became even more jealous. This bastard actually dared to snatch a woman from me. I don't know if Mu Hongli has been slept with by him. If he has, I will make him suffer a fate worse than death in prison. Young man, don't force yourself. If you admit your mistakes and correct them, you will have a chance to start over. If you persist in your mistakes, you will never be able to recover. Shen Sanhai said sarcastically. It seems to be a sincere instruction, but in fact it is murderous. This is the same for both father and son. Idiot tilder Yang Ming felt nothing in his heart, and even wanted to laugh. He knew exactly where the necklace came from, so was he afraid? Ridiculous. What did you say? How dare you scold me? Shen Sanhai said coldly. Scold you? I think you misunderstood. I'm just giving you a more objective definition. After all, you really are an idiot tilder. Yang Ming remained calm and firmly on the diaoitai. Being kind, respectful, frugal and modest often does not win respect from others. Kindness with a sharp edge is always beneficial. After all, many times you don't look for trouble, but trouble will look for you. Just like the narrow-minded Shen Sanhai and Shenlan father and son in front of us. Shen Sanhai's face turned pale and he almost exploded. It was the first time for him, who was used to being flattered, to be called an ant and become an idiot. But he soon calmed down. Your quick words will only make you die faster. When the police arrive, you will pay the price for your actions. Shen Sanhai sneered, By the way, there is one more thing I want to tell you. The reference price of Angel Star in Tiffany is 69 million. With such a huge amount, you will never get out again in your lifetime. I think you look good. I think those prisoners who have never seen women for years should like you, Tilda. I think sissies like your son would be more popular there. Be neither humble nor arrogant, and confront each other head on. Yang Ming's behavior was totally not mature enough for a 19-year-old high school graduate. When he said this, Shen Sanghai, who just felt that he had the upper hand in words, was so angry that he almost vomited blood. You are just a bad mouth, but you will cry one day. Shenlan said viciously. Yang Ming didn't care. I'll wait, Tilda. Poor Mu Hongli was really worried about Yang Ming and was begging him to leave quickly. On the other hand, Mu Jianju. Although he didn't say anything, he was obviously relieved. If this guy is really caught, my daughter will give up in no time, which means she will have solved a big problem for herself. God helps me, Mu Jianju thought. Yang Hongyin looked at Yang Ming, then at her daughter who was crying, and felt a little bit sorry for her. But in the end, he made up his mind and watched from the sidelines. Family interests come first. Who called the police? 2 policemen appeared outside the door. Shenlan flew up excitedly. Me. Raising his hands excitedly, he really wanted to give the 2 police officers a big hug. Police comrade, this guy stole a huge amount of jewels. You quickly arrest him and lock him up for life, Tilda. What's going on? The 2 policemen frowned. He did not listen to one side and looked at Yang Ming. Yang Ming stood up. Comrade police, I said I didn't steal. Do you believe me? This. Bullshit. Shenlan shouted, you didn't steal it. If you didn't steal it, where did the Angel Star come from? Don't tell me you bought it. Don't tell me you can't afford it. You must not know that this is a rare piece of jewelry, a collection of Tiffany, and it's not for sale. Chapter 14. You're fired. Police comrade, I'll testify, Tilda. Shen Sanghai sneered and said, this piece of jewelry was supposed to be on display, but this guy stole it and gave it to a girl to please her. He must be a thief. Arrest him now. What did you say? The police looked at Yang Ming again. Comrade police officer, I still say that I didn't steal this necklace. As for the rest, I have nothing to say, Tilda. You said you didn't steal. Do you have any evidence? Of course, Tilda. Where? On the way, Tilda. Yang Ming has sent a message to Owen, that guy should be back soon. If I had known that guy was so generous, I shouldn't he have said don't be too shabby before. Even the Lord can't prove your innocence. You are just a thief. A poor loser. Shenlan sneered. The police looked at Shenlan with some dissatisfaction. They were relatively fair in their dealings. In that case, you should all come with us to the police station and explain the whole story clearly. We will make a fair judgment on whether it was stolen and who stole it. Comrade police, do we have to go too? Our time is precious, and every minute costs millions. Shen Sanghai and his son were a little dissatisfied. You are the ones who reported the case, so of course you have to go. Even if you are rich, you have no special privileges. Yang Ming doesn't talk much, so the police find him rather likable. However, this bossy father and son are quite problematic. They didn't plan to handcuff Yang Ming, so they walked out. Just at this moment, a foreigner in a suit and tie came running towards the door. Blonde and breathless. President Owen. Shen Sanghai was shocked. The president of Tiffany's China region, his boss and immediate superior who controls his life and property. How come he is here? Could it be that I was rewarded for reporting the thief who stole their Angel Star? The more I think about it, the more likely it becomes. Shen Sanghai became very excited. He had long wanted to expand overseas. It was rumored that Irving had connections at the headquarters and was the nephew of a major shareholder of the headquarters. If he could get in touch with this connection, wouldn't his ambitions be easily realized? The more Shen Sanghai thought about it, the more excited he became. He didn't even bother to follow the policeman next to him. He straightened his clothes and greeted them with a fawning face like a pug. Hello, Mr. Owen. It is my job to help the group find the Angel Star. Actually, you don't have to. Get out of here. Owen pushed Shen Sanghai away impatiently. He was trembling with fear and all he was thinking about was how to apologize to Yang Ming without offending the big boss who held absolute control of the company. He secretly cursed Shen Sanghai for being an idiot who came out of nowhere. Owen didn't even look at Shen Sanghai. He ran to Yang Ming and stretched out his hand nervously. I'm sorry, Mr. Yang Ming, I'm late, I'm deeply sorry for the trouble I caused you. Shin Sanghai's jaw almost dropped to the ground. This. Yang Ming looked at Owen calmly without saying anything and had no intention of shaking hands with him. Owen's heart sank, he turned around and glared at Shin Sanghai fiercely. You idiot. Do you know that Mr. Yang Ming is the largest shareholder of our Tiffany headquarters? He holds 51% of the shares. Even the big boss of the headquarters has to be polite to Mr. Yang Ming. Who do you think you are? How dare you accuse Mr. Yang Ming of stealing? I was the one who sent the angel star to Mr. Yang Ming. Are you going to sue me for stealing the company's property? Shin Sanghai was completely stunned by the scolding. Shin Lan didn't know Owen, and asked unconvincedly, Dad, what kind of person is this golden-haired idiot? Why don't you confront him? Bang! Shin Sanghai was so scared that he slapped his son in the face. Idiot! This is the president of Tiffany's China region. Shin Lan was completely stunned. This foreign bald guy who fawns over the loser is actually the president of a major division of Tiffany? Mu Jianzhu and Yang Hongying were also confused. Why is the president of Tiffany Company China so polite to his daughter's boyfriend? Etc. Owen just said that Yang Ming owns 51% of Tiffany's shares, which means he has absolute control over the company. So, he is actually the largest shareholder of a commercial aircraft carrier with a market value of tens of billions of US dollars. What's funny is that I actually asked him to name a price and leave my daughter. Mu Jinzhou's face turned pale and blue, and he felt a burning pain on his face. So shameful. No wonder this kid was so confident before, it turns out he is a very capable person. But how old is he, and why is he so powerful? The couple looked at each other and saw regret and embarrassment in each other's eyes. What was supposed to be a happy time now seems like a disaster. Because just now, the couple may have completely offended this young man. From now on, you are fired. The general distributor of the Chinese region no longer belongs to you. Owen said viciously, staring at the ungrateful Shin Sanghai. Chapter 15 Then I'll just not see you. He knew that Yang Ming was angry, so he had to have an attitude. An attitude that satisfies Yang Ming. Shin Sanghai was terrified. The reason why he has been able to thrive in the jewelry business over the years is thanks to his identity as Tiffany's director Xiao. Mr. Owen, I think there must be some misunderstanding here. Can you please let me explain, Tilda? What's there to explain? Wasn't it you and your idiot son who slandered Mr. Yang Ming as a thief? Owen wanted to kick this idiot to death. Their angel star, that he carefully selected, wanted to satisfy the big boss, but it was completely destroyed by this stupid thing who looked down on others. Now, Mr. Yang Ming might have a bad impression of me being incompetent. Irving hates that. He glanced at Yang Ming's face quietly, which was expressionless. Owen felt a chill in his heart and hoped that Mr. Yang Ming could forgive him. Excuse me, Mr. Policeman. I'm the president of Tiffany China. My name is Owen. It's true that the angel star is our company's property, but I gave it to Mr. Yang Ming, so there is no theft. I seriously suspect that these two guys slandered Mr. Yang Ming for some ulterior motive, so please take them back for investigation. Tilda. When Shin Sanghai and his son heard what Owen said to the police, they trembled with fear. Losing your job and going to jail? Mr. Owen, I swear to God, I really did it for the good of the company. I didn't. Shut up. You're thinking about the company? I think you're thinking about your own interests. Police comrade. Okay. The two policemen waved their hands impatiently. Since this is an internal dispute, please resolve it among yourselves. If it really cannot be resolved, it's not too late to call the police. After severely criticizing Shin Sanghai and Shin Lan for their irresponsible act of reporting a false alarm, the two policemen left. The atmosphere at the scene became a little weird. Mu Jianzhu and Yang Hongying looked at Yang Ming with embarrassment. The psychological gap caused by Yang Ming's drastic change in identity made them very embarrassed. Especially Mu Jianzhu, his face would burn whenever he thought about how he had asked Yang Ming to offer a price to leave his daughter. A major shareholder with a market value of tens of billions of dollars, even if he sells himself, his assets may not be even a fraction of the other parties. Of course, even more embarrassed are Shin Sanghai and his son Shin Lan. The unpleasant words spoken before were still fresh in my mind, and in the blink of an eye, the identities were reversed. The father and son were brought to the ground. What are you looking at? Why don't you apologize to Mr. Yang Ming? Owen roared at Shin Sang-hai. What? You fired my dad and you want him to apologize to this bastard? Shin Lan was indignant, but was slapped by Shin Sang-hai again. Shut up. Idiot. He approached Yang Ming with a shameless face and said, I'm sorry, Mr. Yang Ming, I didn't recognize the great man before. Can you forgive me for once? Yang Ming glanced at Shin Sang-hai indifferently. The water in the mountain stream rises and falls easily, and the hearts of villains change easily. He suddenly felt bored. I forgive you, Tilda. Really? Shin Sang-hai was ecstatic and could hardly believe his ears. Mu Hongli, Yang Hongli and their spouses, including Owen, were all very surprised, thinking to themselves, is Yang Ming really so easy to talk to? He is still young after all. Mr. Yang Ming, you have forgiven me, so can you use my status as the general distributor too? Seeking benefits and avoiding harm, Shin Sang-hai seized the opportunity to climb up. Clinker. Har har. I said I forgive you, but it was Mr. Owen who made the decision to fire you. I can't help you, Tilda. Yang Ming looked at Owen with a smile. Mr. Owen, do you forgive him? Staring at Yang Ming's face and meeting his sharp gaze, how could Owen, a veteran in the business world, not understand what Yang Ming meant? Killing someone and destroying their heart. Just now I thought this young man was too naive, but now it seems that he is not naive at all. He is clearly a ruthless person who can kill people without being noticed while chatting and laughing. I will never forgive you. You Chinese have an old saying, orders change every day. How can the order I just issued change now? If that happens, how can I establish my authority in the company in the future? So Shin Sang-hai, leave now. You have nothing to do with Tiffany anymore. Yang Ming smiled. Mr. Shin, I'm sorry. You saw it too. Mr. Owen doesn't forgive you. It has nothing to do with me, Tilda. Shin Sang-hai's face became very embarrassed. Mr. Yan, please give me some space so that we can meet again in the future. Why do you have to humiliate me like this? In that case, then let us just not meet. Yang Ming said jokingly. Chapter 16 Convinced. You seem to feel aggrieved. Yang Ming sneered. When you and your son were humiliating me just now, did you ever think of giving me some space in front of others? Did you think at that time that I was an insignificant ant, who wouldn't cause any trouble even if you stepped on me to death? Why can you bully me, but I can't humiliate you? You still have the nerve to be angry and feel aggrieved. You are the kind of dog that is said to be both self-righteous and self-righteous. I tell you, Shin Sang-hai, I humiliated you today, but if you were in my position, I would have humiliated you even more harshly, right? So, you should thank me for my kindness. Yang Ming said with a smile. Are you still thinking that things will turn out differently? You don't stand a chance, Shin Sang-hai. You are such a jerk who uses industry resources for personal gain. From now on, I will make it impossible for you to survive in the jewelry business. Owen, do you understand what I am saying? I understand. I understand. Owen nodded hurriedly. Only then did he realize the ruthlessness of this young major shareholder. He was decisive in killing and had a clear plan for advance and retreat. It is true that heroes emerge from youth. Looking at Yang Ming's warm and gentle painted face, Mu Hongli and Yang Hongli couldn't help but shiver. This kid is not easy to talk to. It is obvious that he will take revenge for every grudge. His ruthless attitude doesn't seem like that of an 18-year-old boy at all. Thinking of what they had done before, the couple were worried about their own situation. I couldn't help but ask myself, will this guy let us go? Little lowly Mu Hongli also came back to her senses from her shock. Brother Yang Ming, this thing is too valuable. I'll give it back to you, Tilda. The angel star was handed over to Yang Ming. He uses Patek Philippe to show off, but he actually doesn't need it at all. Yang Ming's identity also gave this little Lolita a big shock. Compared to her parents' snobbery, she was more puzzled because Yang Ming's home was obviously very simple. Are all super rich people so low-key? Yang Ming looked down at the little Lolita. Her face was wet with rain and her tears were not yet dry. Her tear-stained makeup made her look like a little catfish that had experienced a storm. Silly girl, there's no reason for me to take back what I gave away, Tilda. Yang Ming gently put the angel star on Xiao Yu's neck again and whispered in her ear, this is for you, Tilda. Feeling Yang Ming's hot breath, Mu Hongli's pink neck and ears immediately turned red. Her face was flushed and she looked very shy. Are you really giving it to me? She asked foolishly. Of course, Tilda, Yang Ming smiled. Mu Jianju and Yang Hongying, a couple standing next to them, widened their eyes. This is their angel star, worth nearly 70 million. This necklace alone is enough to solve their current financial crisis. Just give it away like that, just give it to your own daughter. Judging from Yang Ming's expression, he didn't seem to be joking. As a major shareholder of a company with a market value of tens of billions of dollars, he does have such strength. Mu Jianju glanced at his wife, and they thought of the same thing. Before, when they saw Yang Ming wearing a Patek Philippe watch with diamonds on it, they all thought that Yang Ming was a gigolo. Thinking about it now, my face really hurts. Shenlan looked at Yang Ming with jealousy. If possible, he would also like to spend a lot of money to win the smile of a beauty. But his strength does not allow it, and if he dares to do so, Shen Shanghai will probably break his legs. Yang Ming, this is inappropriate. This gift is too valuable. Xiao Yue cannot accept it, Tilda. Mu Jianju is very smart, but he is just being smart. Yang Ming glanced at him coldly. What does it have to do with you? I'm not giving it to you, Tilda. Mu Jianju's face turned red and he dared not say another word. Yang Hongying came up to smooth things over. Yang Ming, Auntie apologizes for our family's previous neglect of you, but this gift is really too valuable, we can't accept it. Nan, return it to Yang Ming, Tilda. Mu Hongli was reluctant to part with it, not because she was greedy for money, but because she really liked the necklace. Most importantly, it was a gift from Yang Ming. It's already on, no need to take it off. Yang Ming said domineeringly, this is a gift from me to Xiao Yue, you two don't need to worry about it, Tilda. His attitude towards Yang Hongying was not as straightforward as his attitude towards Mu Jianju, but it was not good either. Yang Ming then asked Owen, do you have a candidate in mind for the position of general distributor? Owen was a smart man. He looked at Yang Ming and then at the incredibly pretty little lowly Mu Hongli, and immediately understood the meaning of Yang Ming's words. There is no Mr. Yang Ming yet, but I think this Mr. Mu Jianju is quite suitable. What do you think? Yang Ming smiled. It's easy to talk to smart people. I said I don't participate in the company's internal decision making, but since you think it's time, then you can do it, Tilda. Understood. Congratulations, Mr. Mu Jianju. From now on, you are the general distributor of our Tiffany China division. Although the good news came out of nowhere, Mu Jianju felt like he was struck by lightning. The huge pancake fell down and almost knocked him unconscious. Mr. Owen, what did you say? You said I. He couldn't believe his ears. Yes, Mr. Mu Jianju, you heard it right, Tilda, Owen said with a smile. Mu Jianju was shocked. Joy, excitement, and thrill. Survival. Various complex emotions are intertwined. The business was barely making ends meet, and now there is such a sudden turn of events. He looked at Yang Ming with complicated eyes. Doesn't this guy hate himself? Why help me? Yang Hongying was also confused, but soon she was replaced by excitement, and the couple looked at Yang Ming at the same time. Shen Shanghai and his son Shenlan both looked as if they had eaten shit. Let's wait and see. He left angrily, unwilling to accept the result. Yang Ming smiled indifferently. The harsh words of a drowned dog are not worth mentioning. Yang Ming, I'm sorry. I apologize to you for my previous rudeness, Tilda. Mu Jianju looked embarrassed. This was the first time in his life that he bowed his head to a junior. But he was convinced. Chapter 17 Cute Little Lodi. Yang Ming's performance today can be described in 8 words, neither humble nor arrogant, decisive in killing. The most important thing is that he was given a great gift, which easily resolved the Mu family's crisis. I'm doing this for Xiao Yue's sake, so you don't have to thank me, Tilda. Yang Ming waved his hand indifferently. Speaking of which, the reason why he was able to open the Supreme System was because he saved Mu Hongli. This is exactly in line with the old saying, misfortune often comes from good fortune, and good fortune often comes from misfortune. At the moment, this can be considered as returning a favor. What's more, this little lowly Mu Hongli is really likable. Little fish Mu Hongli looked at Yang Ming with his big eyes. She didn't know that Yang Ming's identity was so powerful. I had only hoped to get his help with today's blind date, but I didn't expect that the biggest family problem would also be solved at the same time. In fact, the two of them met by chance, and she had not done anything for Yang Ming. On the contrary, Yang Ming not only gave her the priceless angel star, but also was her lifesaver. In comparison, the diamond-encrusted Patek Philippe what she gave me is really not worth mentioning. Her eyes were sparkling and her long eyelashes fluttered, and Mu Hongli's eyes were filled with tears of emotion. Looking at Yang Ming's angular and handsome face, she was very moved. If Mu Hongli only trusted Yang Ming and had a slight affection for him because he had saved her before, then at this moment, this handsome and sunny boy had completely entered her heart. Thinking of the day when she stood on tiptoe and kissed him on the face, a faint blush crept up Mu Hongli's cheeks. Brother Yang Ming, thank you Tilder. You're welcome, I should be the one thanking you Tilder. Thank me. The little loli was puzzled. Yang Ming did not explain, but waved his hand and said, take care of yourself Tilder. These words were naturally spoken to Mu Jianju and Yang Hongying. After saying that, Yang Ming turned and left. Brother Yang Ming, I little loli Mu Hongli was a little at a loss. She thought Yang Ming was angry with her, but she really didn't know where she was wrong. When I got anxious, tears started to fall. Mom, did I do something wrong? Why does brother Yang Ming seem angry with me? Yang Hongying and her husband looked at each other. As experienced people, they naturally understood that Yang Ming's last words were not directed to their daughter. It stands to reason that with Yang Ming's ability, he would be a natural candidate for son-in-law, but judging by his style of doing things, he is definitely not a pushover. Can a simple and kind-hearted daughter really hold him back? Daughter, do you like your brother Yang Ming very much? The little loli chick pecked at the rice. If you like him, chase him and ask him clearly. If you don't ask clearly, how do you know why he is angry? Yang Hongying encouraged. She felt indebted to Yang Ming and guilty towards her daughter, so she decided to turn a blind eye. Dad, Mom, you don't object to us anymore. The little girl was surprised, that's great Tilder. The optimistic little girl ran after him and was eager to share her joy with Yang Ming. Maybe even she herself forgot that Yang Ming came here today to pretend to be her boyfriend. What do you think, honey? Mu Jianju looked worried, with mixed feelings in his heart. Yang Hongying shook her head and said, let alone his background, judging from his way of dealing with things, this young man is definitely not simple Tilder. That would be throwing our daughter into the fire. Mu Jianju hesitated to speak. Yang Hongying just shook her head. Children and grandchildren have their own blessings. We have already let our daughter down. This time, let her choose for herself. Besides, Yang Ming doesn't look like a heartless person Tilder. Brother Yang Ming, wait for me Tilder. The little loli who caught up was panting and grabbed Yang Ming's arm. Little brother Tilder, she shook Yang Ming's arm pitifully and said sweetly, don't be angry Tilder. Yang Ming smiled bitterly. The little loli was really good at acting like a spoiled child. He Tilder Yang Ming smiled, and Mu Hongli, who was very good at observing people's expressions, immediately took advantage of the situation. She held his arm and rested her head on it, leaning completely on Yang Ming like a koala. I don't care. No matter if you're angry or not, I'm relying on you anyway. You can't run away, Tilder. Yang Ming didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Not to mention that he was not angry at all. Even if he was really angry, seeing her soft and cute look, all his anger disappeared instantly. Any man who sees a little loli like this would probably just hold her in his hands and love her dearly. No girl has ever acted coquettishly with me. In the past, Lu Shutong bossed her around and only gave her sweet treats occasionally. Why did he think of that woman again? She was not even worthy of carrying Xiaoyer's shoes, Yang Ming sneered. I have to say, it feels really good to be treated coquettishly by a girl. Especially such a pretty and cute little loli. Little fish Tilder. Yang Ming suddenly called out. Mu Hongli subconsciously raised his head to look at him. The cheeks are delicate and sunny. Her star-like eyes were filled with sweetness, and the look in her eyes when she looked at Yang Ming was filled with a swirl of tenderness. She was confused, cute and adorable. Yang Ming almost fell into that whirlpool. This little loli has no idea of her own destructive power. Chapter 18, Enemies on a Narrow Road. Taking a deep breath to suppress his inner restlessness, Yang Ming became serious. The time I saved you, it wasn't an accident, was it? There was a flash of panic in the little loli's eyes. Do you want to commit suicide? Yang Ming asked seriously. Tilder, after a long silence, Mu Hongli finally admitted it and lowered his head silently. Silly girl, why? Why do you have to commit suicide if you can't just solve the problem properly? I. Mu Hongli raised her head suddenly, her big eyes red again. Brother Yang Ming, I have no choice. Daddy and mommy forced me to marry that Shenlan. I don't like him. You know, that guy is a bad guy. My friend told me that he has harmed many little girls in Shanghai, many of whom are not even adults. No wonder that bastard is so hostile to me. Even so, you can't commit suicide, Tilda. You don't know Brother Yang Ming. Several underage girls have been tortured to death by him. I'm scared. I thought it would be better to end my life with my body clean than to end up like them, Tilda. Yang Ming's pupils shrank and his eyes suddenly became sharp. What a scumbag. Have you told your parents about this? I did, but Daddy and Mommy didn't believe me at all. They even said that the scumbag was a good man and told me to marry him without any worries, Tilda. Mu Zhenju, blinded by greed, almost ruined his daughter's life. If Yang Ming had known this earlier, he would never have let Shanghai and Shenlan go so easily. If the upper beam is crooked, the lower beams will be crooked too. If the roots are crooked, the whole family will be full of scum. Brother Yang Ming, don't you believe me? The little girl said aggrievedly, tears streaming down her face. I believe it, of course I believe it. Judging from the bastard's behavior before, we can infer that he is a scumbag. Yang Ming held the little girl in his arms distressedly and comforted her softly. Do you listen to my brother? Feeling the warmth in Yang Ming's arms, Mu Hongli nodded heavily and sobbed softly. In that case, Xiaoyue, listen carefully. No matter what happens in the future, you must not give up your life easily. It's not worth it for a scumbag. Your parents don't know that you committed suicide, right? Xiaoyue shuddered. Brother Yang Ming, you can't tell me, otherwise mommy will be very sad. Really? Otherwise, even if Yang Hongying and Mu Zhenju were cold-blooded, they would not have arranged today's blind date after their daughter committed suicide in protest. So, you know that mommy will be sad. Why do you still do stupid things? Remember, don't do stupid things in the future, understand? If there is anything you can't tell your parents, you can come to me, Tilda. Really? Xiaoyue's eyes lit up and his nose twitched. Of course it's true, Tilda. Brother Yang Ming, you are so nice. The little girl hugged Yang Ming tightly, as if she wanted to rub herself into his body. Feeling the softness in front of him, Yang Ming twisted his body uncomfortably. In the prime of life, full of vigor and vitality. It's the age when hormones burst forth. Faced with such a beauty, it is hard not to have other thoughts. Yang Ming, restrain yourself, restrain yourself. Xiaoyue is still young, you can't be like that beast Shenlan. He silently said this in his heart, but the little fish in his arms seemed to be unaware of his charm and instead held him tighter. Brother Yang Ming, shall we go shopping now? At the critical moment, Xiaoyue let go of Yang Ming and continued to hold his hand. Yang Ming felt a little empty in his heart after he breathed a sigh of relief. This is the good thing about little Lolita, no matter how her mood fluctuates, it will not affect her mood afterwards. Although Xiaoyue loves to cry, he is also an optimist. Okay, I also plan to buy some gifts, Tilda. That's great, I'll help you choose. Trust me, I have a good eye, Tilda. Xiaoyue was very excited, as if choosing for Yang Ming was more worthwhile than buying for himself. At this time, she had completely assumed the role of Yang Ming's girlfriend. The little girl is not stupid at all, she never mentioned the fact that she pretended to be her boyfriend before. As for Yang Ming, he is not stupid either. When a man and a woman are in love and they are the right people, it doesn't matter whether they are true or false. Xiaoyue is really good at picking, and girls seem to be born with a mysterious passion for shopping. She took Yang Ming to visit one luxury store after another in the most luxurious shopping mall in Shanghai. The Mu family was not short of money to begin with, and the little girl now knew that Yang Ming was not short of money either. So when it comes to picking things up, I'm not at all lenient. Versace, Armani, GI, Balenciaga. She danced one set after another for Yang Ming. From top to bottom, from head to toe, everything looks brand new except for this person. After changing his clothes, Yang Ming looks handsome, bright and elegant. Of course, Yang Ming had a very good foundation. Looking at himself in the fitting mirror, he had to admit that it was true that clothes make the man. Tiffany, little brother, this is your store. Do you want to go in and take a look? Xiaoyue asked with a smile. Of course, it is impossible for the largest shopping mall in Shanghai to not have a jewelry brand store like Tiffany. Yang Ming hesitated for a moment and then nodded. He had already bought enough things for himself, and he wanted to pick out some jewelry for his mother. After a lifetime of hardship, Yang Ming realized that he seemed to have never given his mother a decent gift. Today he would make their first one. Of course, there is also my sister's. Thinking of this, he took Xiao Yue's hand and went in. Not long after entering the door, a provocative voice came from the side. Yang Ming. Yang Ming was slightly stunned and smiled. Lu Shutong, Shen Song. It's true that enemies often meet in a narrow road. Chapter 19. Do you think you are cheap? Mu Hongli turned her head and saw a man and a woman walking towards them with unfriendly looks on their faces. Brother Yang Ming, do you know them? Of course he knows us. Shen Song said coldly. Last night at the Blue Sea and Blue Sky, Yang Ming made him lose face. When enemies meet, they are especially jealous of each other. Why are there women around this bastard more beautiful than each other? Last night there was a pure goddess Xing Sisi, and today she was replaced by an incredibly beautiful and cute loli. As the saying goes, comparing people will make you die, comparing goods will make you throw them away. Look at Lu Shutong next to me, the difference is really like fresh flowers and smelly dog shit. Why is this boy so popular with women? Shen Song was not convinced. He stared at Mu Hongli for a long time, his eyes flashing with strong desire. So what if illusion is protecting you? I am no longer the same person I was before. I must get back what I lost yesterday. Brother Yang Ming, who are they? Although Mu Hongli is cute, she is not stupid at all. Shen Song's aggressive gaze made her very uncomfortable, and she subconsciously leaned behind Yang Ming. Given her temper, if the other party didn't know Yang Ming, she would have turned hostile long ago. A passerby tilder, Yang Ming said calmly, his eyes not focusing on these two people. A passerby. Lu Shutong was not happy. You are so kind, Yang Ming. You called me baby at school, but now you turn around and call me a passerby? You are really heartless. Lu Shutong looked at Mu Hongli. People like her are extremely jealous. Coupled with the excitement of last night, I subconsciously started to compare myself with others. Compare body shape. Although Mu Hongli is cute, she has nice breasts and legs. Most importantly, she is not short. She just looks small in front of the tall Yang Ming. Compare appearance. Her fair skin, which was entirely decorated with pink, was completely destroyed by the little girl's natural pinkness. Family background, dress and temperament. Lu Shutong is at best a fake bus user, and the half-baked brand name items she wears are all fake. Looking at Mu Hongli again, she was wearing luxury goods from head to toe, especially the sapphire necklace around her neck, which made Lu Shutong's eyes turn red with jealousy. She recognized it was Tiffany's classic, Angel Star. Legend has it that it is worth tens of millions and is a rare edition that cannot be bought even if you have money. Etc. Lu Shutong's eyes lit up, as if she had thought of something. She suddenly raised her head and sneered at Yang Ming. I told you. How could the loser I kicked away afford a world-class limited edition sports car like Hennessy Venom? It turns out he's just a gigolo kept by someone else. Lu Shutong swept away the depression from last night and suddenly felt balanced. It's no wonder she thinks so. After all, Yang Ming in front of him was wearing sportswear and carrying large and small bags of luxury goods. Mu Hongli next to him was wearing a lot of expensive luxury goods, but he was still dressed lightly. No matter how you look at it, Yang Ming looks like a kept gigolo. Shen Song was stunned for a moment, and his eyes suddenly glowed green. Yes, why didn't I think of that? How could this guy, who is so young and from a grassroots family, afford Hennessy? There must be no other situation except being kept. After all, this loser is very handsome. Only at this time was Shen Song willing to admit that Yang Ming was handsome. Because this will allow him to fight back. My beautiful lady, don't be fooled by this guy. You may not know this, but last night, he drove your sports car to pick up another woman and cheated on you. Shen Song was very proud and tried to expose Yang Ming's shortcomings in a self-righteous manner. Mu Hongli looked puzzled. Brother Yang Ming, when did you drive my car? She did have a car, but it was a red Beetle, a gift from her mother Yang Hongying for her 18th birthday. I don't know either. Tilder Yang Ming was amused by these two weirdos and spread his hands helplessly. Maybe they are sick. Tilder. Mu Hongli looked at the two of them and nodded in agreement. Support brother Yang Ming yourself. Mu Hongli wanted to, but his strength did not allow it. The necklace that brother Yang Ming gave her was worth half of the Mu family's assets. Shin Song and Lu Shutong were stunned. Is there something wrong with this soft and cute loli? Yang Ming used her money and her car to pick up other women, but she was indifferent. Girl, please be more careful. This stinky loser is not a good guy. Be careful not to be deceived by him. Lu Shutong spoke earnestly. You are sick. Xiao Yuer could no longer bear it. Brother Yang Ming would not lie to me. I don't know you and I don't want to talk to you, please get out of the way. I say, how can you be so ungrateful? We reminded you with good intentions, but why are you cursing at us? Shin Song also noticed that the necklace on the little girl's neck was very valuable, so he didn't dare to scold her. What's wrong with scolding you? Who told you to say bad things about Brother Yang Ming? Humph tilde, Xiao Yuer looked proud. Brother Yang Ming was his heaven. She wouldn't allow anyone to insult him. Lu Shutong was already unhappy with this rich and beautiful woman whose appearance, figure, temperament and family background were better than hers. Seeing that she didn't know what was good for her, she started to curse, "You stinky bitch! You have no shame when I give you a chance. I gave you a good reminder with good intentions, but you didn't appreciate it and you even dared to scold me. I wish you a grassland on your head and that you will be completely deceived by this stinky loser. And you, what are you looking at? You stinking loser. Fortunately, I dumped you quickly. A gigolo like you is not a man." Lu Shutong, who felt superior, acted as arrogantly as a fighting hen. I was ridiculed badly by Chen Biao, Li Weiyuan and their gang yesterday, and finally found an opportunity to vent my anger. Yang Ming, you have come to this day. Freeloader. Yang Ming frowned slightly and said coldly, just because you are a piece of shit, you think the world is a cesspool. Lu Shutong, do you think you are cheap or not? Chapter 20 The Jealous Lu Shutong. I had no intention of getting into trouble with her, but this woman is really ungrateful. Even if I'm a gigolo, what's your business? I'm a gigolo, but it's better than you being a prostitute. You don't really think that the rich guy next to you will marry you in the end? No way. No way. You are bust that you can get on by paying money. Ask him and see if he thinks so. I, Yang Ming, was blind to fall in love with you before. Don't you think you are still that important to me now? After saying that, he took the well-behaved Mu Hongli by the hand. Xiao Yuer, let's go and ignore them tilde. Yang Ming was too lazy to look at her anymore. You son of a bitch, you dare to call me a chicken? I'm going to fight you. Lu Shutong was so angry that her hair stood on end. Just as she was about to rush forward, she suddenly saw the lobby manager of Tiffany's politely approaching Yang Ming. An intellectual black suit with a white lining, black stockings and high heels, a perfect career woman. Lu Shutong clearly remembered that the woman had a cold face and didn't even look at her and Shin Song. Hello tilde, the lobby manager shook hands with Yang Ming politely. Do you know me? Yang Ming looked at the mature woman in her early 30s in front of him with some surprise. Mr. Owen instructed not long ago that your photo is now being circulated among the stores, so I not only know who you are, but I also know that the angel star on this lady's neck was given by you tilde. What? Lu Shutong widened her eyes. Did Yang Ming, that loser, give the angel star to that girl? Lu Shutong was stunned. That is a rare treasure worth tens of millions. Women have a mysterious pursuit for diamonds. If you own a necklace like that, you will wake up smiling in your dreams for the rest of your life. Shin Song next to him also heard what the lobby manager said. Did I hear that correctly? Does it take so much money to live off someone nowadays? The two looked at each other, neither of them believed that Yang Ming had such strength. After calming down, Lu Shutong didn't dare to go up and cause trouble for Yang Ming. She and Shin Song followed behind timidly, wanting to find out what was going on. Well, what style and price range do you want? The female manager was very polite, or you can tell me who you want to give it to, and I can give you some advice tilde. Give it to my mom and sister. Don't make it too flashy, as my mom usually wears simple clothes. Also, don't make it too expensive, as my sister is still in high school tilde. It's not that Yang Ming is stingy with his family. If possible, it wouldn't matter if he spent all the 3 billion in his pocket on his parents and sister. But there needs to be a buffer period in between. The supreme system that can make them rich overnight is too far-fetched for them, and Yang Ming doesn't want to make them worry. My current identity is a high school student who failed the entrance exam, so I have to go through a step-by-step process. Is that so? Then I recommend this glass jade bracelet to your mother. It is crystal clear and very plain. It can enhance the class of a middle-aged woman who wears plain clothes. However, because it does not have floating green, the value of the glass jade bracelet is slightly lower. It is naturally incomparable to the angel star that you gave to this lady. I am afraid that you think it does not suit your status tilde. How much? 30,000 tilde. 30,000, that's about it tilde, Yang Ming whispered. My mother is a factory worker and her monthly salary is only over 5,000 yuan. 30,000 yuan is half a year's salary. Moreover, when he took it back, Yang Ming had to say that he only spent 300 yuan before he dared to give it away, otherwise his mother would definitely think he was crazy. I spent 30,000 to buy such a shabby bracelet. I'm afraid my mother would think it's too expensive if I said 300. Okay, for your sister, I recommend this white gold and diamond pendant, designed by a famous Italian designer, called Piesue. The hollowed-out snowflake design, with 9 tiny pink diamonds dotting the edges, matches the style of a high school girl. By the way, do you know that snowflake necklace from Swarovski? Yang Ming nodded. He seemed to have seen Lu Shutong wearing it in senior year of high school. When he asked her, she said it was a birthday present from her mother, and it seemed to be worth more than 1,000 yuan. The Swarovski model is an imitation of our snowflake model. Whether in design or workmanship, it is much inferior to ours. But because they are cheap, they sell well. But in terms of style and quality, our Tiffany products are far better than theirs. Lu Shutong subconsciously touched the necklace on her chest. This was not a birthday gift from her mother, but the compensation given to Shinsong by this man when she went to bed with him for the first time. More than 1,000 yuan, it would cost more than that to find a virgin chicken. Looking at the exquisite Piesue in Yang Ming's hand, she suddenly felt jealous. This one must be very expensive. How much? 28,000. Not bad, suitable, just pack these 2 for me. Yang Ming said without raising his head. Okay, please wait a moment tilde the manager politely packed the food for Yang Ming. Brother Yang Ming, I'm going to the bathroom tilde, the little lowly Mu Hongli suddenly said. The peach blossom eyes are mischievous, and when they are squinted, they look like a little fox who just wants to do something bad. Go ahead tilde, I'll wait for you tilde. Yang Ming didn't think much at this time. Lu Shutong behind him felt sour in her heart. 28,000 is more than 20 times the price of this necklace. Chapter 21 Dog Bites Dog. She had met Yang Ming's sister Yang Mai, and she felt that the girl was not worthy of the necklace, only she was worthy of it. Lu Shutong looked at Shinsong beside her and said, Dear, please buy me one too tilde. Didn't I buy you one for your neck? It's exactly the same. How can they be the same? Didn't you hear what the manager said just now? That's a pirated product. The style and quality are much worse. This one cost 28,000 yuan, and you bought it for me for more than 1,000 yuan. How can they be the same? How are they different? Besides, I just bought you a bag last month. How come you don't know how to be satisfied? Shinsong said unhappily. After seeing the stunning beauty of the pure school beauty Jing Sisi and the soft and cute lowly Mu Hongli, he became more and more bored with the mediocre girl around him. Not to mention spending money, he really wanted to get back all the money he had spent in the past. How dare you talk about that bag? You lied to me and said it was over 30,000 yuan, but when I checked, it was actually a knockoff product worth over 300 yuan. Yang Ming frowned slightly, glanced at the 2 people not far away, and a hint of disgust flashed in his eyes. 2 dogs will end up with a mouth full of fur sooner or later. But he was too lazy to pay attention. Brother Yang Ming, I'm here tilde. Mu Hongli came skipping over, looking very happy. What are you so happy about? Hey, your hands are so clean. Hey, Xia, you don't wash your hands when you go to the toilet tilde. Yang Ming joked with a smile. Mu Hongli blushed and punched Yang Ming in the chest. You are the one who didn't wash your hands after going to the toilet, you are so bad tilde. The lobby manager smiled with some profound meaning. Pay the bill tilde. Yang Ming took out his card and handed it over. Sir, this lady has already bought it tilde. You've bought it. Yang Ming looked at Mu Hongli, and then he understood and couldn't help but joked, so, you went to the toilet to pay tilde. Oh. Brother Yang Ming, you are so mean. You know what's going on but you still make fun of me. You gave me such an expensive gift. What's wrong with me selling something for my aunt and sister tilde? Oh. Are they really your aunt and sister? Aren't you thinking about buying gifts for your mother-in-law and sister-in-law? Somehow, Yang Ming felt that this little Lolita's shy look was quite attractive, and he couldn't help but want to tease her. Humph! You only know how to bully me. I'm not going to pay any attention to you. Mu Hongli turned her head away angrily. She looked like she was angry, but actually she was just shy. Mother-in-law, sister-in-law, then I am Yang Ming's brother's wife. Thinking of this, the shy Mu Hongli felt sweet in her heart. Without stopping, Yang Ming and Mu Hongli left hand in hand. After they left, Lu Shutong and Shen Song quickly found the lobby manager. Hello, manager. May I ask who this Yang Ming is and why are you so polite to him? Lu Shutong did not dare to show off in front of the manager and kept a low profile. The manager glanced at her, expressionless. The manager had seen clearly in the lobby what they had done to Yang Ming before. She really had no good feelings towards this kind of gold digger who flattered the powerful and looked down on the weak and was afraid of the strong. You want to know? Could you please tell me? The manager sneered, then you should listen carefully. The gigolo you are talking about is the largest shareholder of our Tiffany headquarters. He is worth over $10 billion US. Tens of thousands of Tiffany employees around the world rely on him for their salaries. Net worth over 10 billion. Or US dollars. Lu Shutong was completely confused. Why was I so blind to kick out this loser? No, this tall, rich and handsome guy. Her heart was bleeding. If I hadn't gotten rid of him at the beginning, I would be the one standing next to him today. The glass jade bracelet is mine, the falling snow is mine, and the angel star worth tens of millions is also mine. Even if I marry him, even if we get divorced in the end, I can still get billions of dollars in assets. Thinking that all of this had come to naught because of her stupid decision, Lu Shutong felt like she was going crazy. Look at Shen Song next to him, what the hell is this? With an annual salary of hundreds of thousands, he is not even worthy of mentioning shoes in front of Yang Ming. Lu Shutong regretted so much. Shen Song saw through Lu Shutong's little trick. What are you looking at, you bitch? Do you think Yang has become successful and regret being with me? Yes. I regret it. How could I be so blind to fall for a loser like you? You drive a BMW 5 and think you are so great. You even lied to me and said you were an executive of a listed company. To put it nicely, you are the lobby manager of a 4-star hotel. To put it bluntly, you are just a waiter leader. You are not even worthy of carrying Yang Ming's shoes. Shen Song, who was already extremely unhappy, exploded when he heard this. You stinky bitch, why don't you go back and find Yang if he's so nice? If I were him, I would definitely not want you, a bitch. You were not a virgin when you slept with me. I don't know how many men have slept with you before. You are just a bus, you know what a bus is. Even if I give you 1,000, it's still too much for me. How dare you scold me? What's wrong with scolding you? I'll beat you up, you stinky bitch. Furious, Shen Song slapped Lu Shutong. Then the two of them wrestled with each other in the lobby of the Tiffany store, like a low-class shrew and a hooligan. The young manager looked disgusted. The woman is cheap and the man is a scumbag. It's disgusting to look at such stuff any longer. Security, kick them out. Chapter 22, Go up and sit. At this time, Yang Ming and Mu Hongli had no idea that a dog-eat-dog drama was unfolding behind them. Mu Hongli sweetly held Yang Ming's arm and begged him to take her somewhere to play. Xiao Yuer, why don't you come home with me? I can give the gift you bought to my mom Tilda. No. Xiao Yue's face turned red, hesitating. This is too fast, I'm not ready to meet my parents yet Tilda. What parents are you meeting? What are you thinking, Xiao Yue? I just want to introduce you to my mom as a friend Tilda. Of course Yang Ming did it on purpose. The shy Mu Hongli is like a slightly red apple, making people want to take a bite. It is very fun to tease her. Hiss. Xiao Yuer, why are you biting me? It hurts, shut up. Just when Yang Ming was immersed in teasing Mu Hongli, the little girl angrily bit his arm hard. Humph. You bad brother, who told you to always bully me? I don't care, you have to take me out to play. I haven't been to Disneyland for a long time, you have to take me there today. But what should we do with these things? Yang Ming rubbed his arm. This little girl was quite ruthless. Put it in the hotel and pick it up when we come back Tilda. Okay then Tilda. Yang Ming didn't think much about it at this time. Mu Hongli looked at Yang Ming with a guilty conscience, and then heaved a sigh of relief when he saw that the other party didn't seem to be suspicious. If you want to put your stuff in a hotel, you must book a room. It must have been night when I came back. That. The little lowly's mind was complicated and not that simple. Yang Ming fell into her clutches accidentally. Boys should take care to protect themselves when they go out. Brother Yang Ming is so silly that he has no self-protection awareness at all. Thinking of this, the little girl's face turned red. When I think about what might happen tonight, I feel a little bit excited. Although he was in Shanghai, Yang Ming had never been to Disneyland before. His parents had to support his and his sister's education, and the tickets costing several hundred yuan were like adding insult to injury for the already poor family. You don't have to be hungry or cold, and your parents are not ashamed of you. So Yang Ming never asked for these things before. But how can one repay his parents if he does not make any progress? It seems that I have to find an opportunity in the future to bring my sister and parents to play together. Yang Ming was thinking about his future plans, so he bought tickets with Mu Hongli and entered the park. The little girl was obviously not here for the first time. She took Yang Ming's hand and excitedly introduced him. I was familiar with the process and soon had a lot of fun. Flying over the horizon, historic exploration camp, Thunder Mountain rafting, explore a canoe, Tron light cycle power run, jetpack flying vehicle. Therefore, when it comes to exciting projects, this little lowly sticks to Yang Ming like taffy. I don't know if she is really scared or just wants to take advantage of Yang Ming. But Yang Ming was also happy to be taken advantage of, since he felt that he was not the one who suffered a loss anyway. As time went on, the intimacy between the two grew by leaps and bounds. From noon until the sky gradually turned grey, the little girl was still not satisfied. Brother Yang Ming, this is my third time coming here. I always came with mommy before, but I am happiest this time with you. Mu Hongli's face flushed with satisfaction. Look, the carousel, Brother Yang Ming, let's go play that last tilde. Mu Hongli pointed excitedly, but Yang Ming was a little resistant. You are such a grown-up, not a child anymore. It's so embarrassing to ride on a merry-go-round tilde. Oh. What's so embarrassing? Just treat yourself as a child. Besides, who says you have to be a child to play? Couples can be romantic too. Mu Hongli pronounced the word lover vaguely because she was shy. Between what? Yang Ming asked. Hey, don't ask so many questions, just go. In the end, Yang Ming couldn't resist the little girl's insistence and went up anyway. Let's ride on one horse. You sit behind me and you hold my brother Yang Ming. I'm afraid I'll fall off. With a flushed face, Mu Hongli didn't dare to look into Yang Ming's eyes. Maybe he felt that his lie was too blatant. Yang Ming didn't expose it either. Warm and soft jade, embroidered with Mu Hongli's fresh and elegant hair fragrance. The girl's unique scent intoxicated him. Take a deep breath. Yang Ming, our Yang Ming, you must not be a beast, Xiao Yuer is still a child. While hugging her, Yang Ming silently chanted the heart-cleansing mantra. At this age of full vigor and vitality, it is really difficult to look at the beauty tightly in your arms but not to eat her. Finally, the trip to Disneyland came to an end. At the hotel entrance, two people stared blankly at the flashing neon lights. Brother Yang Ming, how about we go upstairs and sit down? Mu Hongli's voice was like a dream talk, barely audible. Chapter 23, Deep Love. But Yang Ming still heard it. No matter how proactive a girl is, she is still thin-skinned. Looking at Mu Hongli in front of him, who would definitely get to their base with just a slight wave of his hand, Yang Ming swallowed subconsciously, his Adam's apple moving. Beasts are worse than beasts, that is the question. Don't get me wrong, Brother Yang Ming. What I mean is that we haven't had dinner yet. Let's go to the room and eat first. Is it eating the food or eating you? Yang Ming almost blurted out. Mu Hongli's explanation, which was like trying to cover up one's own mistake, made Yang Ming feel itchy. As a beginner, there is nothing shameful about this. Ahem, let's go have a meal, and then we'll go home. Okay. Mu Hongli lowered her head shyly, and neither of them spoke again. The fallen flowers have feelings, the flowing water has affection, all that is missing is a layer of window paper. They understand each other tacitly. A luxurious suite in a 5-star hotel. A separate living room, a luxurious bedroom, and the king-size bed that is clearly visible. The room was dark, but filled with red candles. I could vaguely see that the rose petals on the bed formed a heart shape. When the two of them entered, the dining table was already set up in the living room. Red wine, Western food. Steak, foie gras. The atmosphere is just right. Yang Ming had reason to suspect that this little girl had planned this. Without pointing it out, he just coughed a few times and pulled out a chair for her. Yang Ming had a vague feeling that something would definitely happen tonight, but he didn't dare to look forward to it. Thank you, brother Yang Ming Tilder. Mu Hongli picked up the red wine glass and slowly walked towards Yang Ming. What are you thanking me for? Yang Ming realized something and his palms began to sweat. If it weren't for you, I might be dead now. If it weren't for you, maybe I would have to marry that scumbag tomorrow. Brother Yang Ming, you know, I like you so much Tilder. Who can resist such a strong confession? Mu Hongli stared at Yang Ming with eyes as bright as stars without blinking. Her pink little mouth was slightly pursed, her cheeks were slightly red, and her neck was tilted back without moving. Yang Ming could even smell the faint fragrance of her hair. The atmosphere in the air suddenly became ambiguous. Yang Ming felt his throat was a little dry, so he picked up the red wine on the table and drank it all. Cough 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 Tilder, he was choked by the sudden movement. Mu Hongli looked at the scene tenderly and pursed her lips slightly. Not daring to look any longer, Yang Ming wiped his mouth carelessly and felt his heart beating violently. Xiao Yue, eat first Tilder. At this point, unlike Yang Ming who was shy, Mu Hongli became brave instead. She stared straight into Yang Ming's eyes. Brother Yang Ming, I don't want to eat Tilder. So what do you want to eat? I want to eat you. Under the candlelight, Mu Hongli immediately hugged Yang Ming. The red wine in the glass ripples, reflecting the reflections of the two people. She hugged him desperately, as if trying to rub herself into Yang Ming's body. Mu Hongli's eyes were covered with a layer of crystal mist, and her breath was as sweet as orchid. Brother Yang Ming, please take me Tilder. Raw. Just like a charge before the battle, this sweet voice almost made Yang Ming fall. Fortunately, as a man, he suppressed the evil fire in his heart with the last bit of clarity. No. No. Xiaoyer, we can't do this, you are still young, I can't make mistakes Tilder. I'm not young anymore, brother Yang Ming. I turned 18 the year before last. So I'm a few months older than you. As she spoke, she took out her ID card and waved it in front of Yang Ming. Really? Yang Ming was shocked to find that this little girl who looked like a high school student was actually a few months older than him. Mu Hongli pouted and looked up. So, brother Yang Ming, take me, be gentle, this is my first time. Roar Tilder. Their eyes met and a flash of lightning struck. The hormones that burst out at that moment were like Mars hitting the earth. Yang Ming's eyes turned bloodshot and he couldn't bear it any longer. Chapter 24 Shy Little Loli. At the same time, at Yang Ming's home. Suqing, my wife. What a great joy. What a great joy. Yang Ming's father, Yang Zhengwo, pushed open the door and shouted excitedly. Yang Ming's mother Liu Suqing poked her head out of the kitchen holding a spatula. What are you yelling about in the middle of the night? Did you pick up money on the road or did you run into a ghost? Wash your hands and get ready to eat. Liu Suqing glared at her husband fiercely and ignored him. Liu Suqing, who is in her early 40s, still has some charm. When she was young, she was also a beauty in the factory and was very beautiful. The handsomeness and beauty of her daughter Yang Mai and son Yang Ming are mostly due to her excellent genes. In the past, she always joked with her husband, saying that it was a good thing that her son and daughter were not like her, otherwise they would definitely not be able to find a wife and would not be able to get married. Whenever this happened, Yang Zhengwo was not annoyed. Instead, he smiled proudly and said, "Who said you can't find a wife? I brought you, the most beautiful girl in the factory, home. You also gave birth to such an excellent pair of children for me. My son and daughter will definitely not be bad either Tilder." Every time, Liu Suqing would glare at her husband and say that he was shameless, but she actually felt sweet in her heart. To Yang Zhengwo, a dull and straight technical worker, this is the most romantic love talk between this old couple. Over the years, the couple has had a good relationship. Although not rich, I am very happy. If Yang Zhengwo had not been on the factory's layoff list last week, this kind of ordinary happiness might have continued for a lifetime. This is really a great joyous event. Did you know that the factory promoted me to deputy director? What? With a bang, the sound of a spatula falling to the ground was heard in the kitchen. Then Liu Suqin's shocked face appeared at the door. Yang Jingwo. Tell the truth, have you been drinking again? You must be drunk and crazy. What are you daydreaming about in broad daylight? No, wife. It's true. I would be a dog if I lied to you. Yang Jingwo made a bitter face. It was painful to hear that the feeling of sharing joy and not being accepted by others. Liu Suqin sneered, in order to pursue me, didn't you learn to bark like a dog? I don't believe it. Okay, stop bragging, wash your hands and ask your son and daughter to come out for dinner. Really? Wife. If you don't believe me, I'll call Director Liu right now and ask him if it's true. Having said that, the depressed Yang Jingwo really took out his phone and called Director Liu on the spot. The phone was on speakerphone, and after some questioning and conversation, it was confirmed that he had become the deputy factory director. How is it possible? Liu Suqin's face was full of confusion. My husband is at most a skilled technical worker. Even if he wants to be promoted, he has to start as a technical manager. How can he be promoted to factory director all of a sudden? This is almost like a fairy tale. Did you give money to Director Liu? Liu Suqin said seriously. Wife, is this the first day you met me, Yang Jingwo? If I were really that person, would I still be a skilled worker today? Besides, how much money would I have to give him to be promoted directly to deputy factory director? What's the current situation of our family? You hold the economic power, don't you understand? That's true. Liu Suqin was puzzled. If money had not been given, how could the employee who was originally going to be laid off suddenly become the deputy factory director? This is strange, why, wait. Liu Suqin was stunned, as if he suddenly thought of something. Last night, at this time, Yang Jingwo also had a strange look in his eyes. You speak first. You speak first. The couple said in unison, looking at each other. They knew that it was obvious that the couple were thinking the same thing. Because last night, they clearly remembered their son saying something like this, Dad, don't worry, I promise you will never lose your job, maybe your boss will even let you be the factory manager. The couple's pupils were startled, and they turned their heads and shouted in unison to the inner room, Son. Yang Ming. Come out. Mom and Dad have something to ask you, Tilder. The next day, the sun was high in the sky. The hotel suite was a mess and filled with scandal. The clothes of the two people were scattered on the ground, and the bed sheets were a dazzling bright red. Mu Hongli snuggled in Yang Ming's arms and slept soundly. Yang Ming, who woke up first, looked at Mu Hongli's crystal clear and delicate little face in his arms, and couldn't help but bent down and kissed her. At this time, Mu Hongli's eyelashes moved slightly. Yang Ming pursed his lips and said jokingly, Are you awake? Still pretending to sleep, Tilder. Oh. Brother Yang Ming, you are so bad. Mu Hongli, who had originally closed his eyes, suddenly opened his eyes, stared at Yang Ming with his peach blossom-like eyes, and hit him on the chest in annoyance. Why do you expose me? I'm shy, Tilder. Pulling the edge of the quilt, the little girl buried her head in it. Are you shy? Who was crazier than me last night? You were everywhere, in the bathtub, on the sofa, in the living room, but why didn't you seem shy at that time, Tilder? Speaking of this, Yang Ming showed a malicious smile. Last night, the two people who wanted whatever they wanted were really crazy, it didn't feel like it was their first time. Oh. It's not me. I didn't. You're talking nonsense. The shy Mu Hongli denied it 3 times in a row, her face under the quilt as red as a peach. Chapter 25. I'll break your legs. If it's not you, then is it me? I don't want to listen, Humph. Bad guy. Yang Ming was speechless. He gently hugged Xiao Yuer and let her pink fist hit his chest. Very pleasant. Brother Yang Ming, what time is it now? Mu Hongli suddenly pulled back the quilt. It's 10:30, look at the watch, Tilder. Oh no. I promised mommy to go to an event with her today, but I didn't come home last night. I'm doomed. As she said this, the delicate and pretty Mu Hongli jumped out from under the quilt. He dressed quickly at a speed that shocked Yang Ming. Brother Yang Ming, I'm going home first. Let's contact each other by phone. If you miss me, please Tilder. After washing up, Mu Hongli kissed Yang Ming on the face like a newlywed wife, then ran away and soon disappeared. Yang Ming lay on the bed with his head in his hands, looking at the empty room and thinking about everything that had happened recently. From diving into the water to save others, to failing the college entrance examination, to being abandoned by Lu Shutong, and then turning a disaster into a blessing, he accidentally opened the supreme system and embarked on a completely different life. And now, he has gloriously bid farewell to his shameful virginity. All of this seems like a dream. Yang Ming, who had calmed down, felt a little panicked. What if this was really a dream? No. Looking at the bright red mark left by Mu Hongli on the bed sheet, and her questions were still beside her. There is no such real dream. Since God has given me this opportunity, I must not let this life go to waste. Oh no. Looking at the pendulum clock on the wall of the hotel, Yang Ming suddenly remembered something. My parents must be going crazy because I didn't come home last night and didn't even call. I hurriedly found my cell phone and saw that there were more than 50 missed calls. More than 40 unread messages. One for my parents, one for my sister, one for Li Weiran and Biaozi and their close friends, and one for Lu Shutong. Mom 1, Deepening, where have you been? You don't answer my phone calls or text messages. You've grown independent, haven't you? You've learned to stay out all night, haven't you? Mom 2, I'll give you 5 minutes. If you don't call me back, you can't go home. Mom, you're not going home yet. Okay. I'll break your legs if you come back. Mom 4, son, is something wrong with you? Mom was just joking with you. We can talk about anything. Don't be upset. Mom and Dad are waiting for you at home. Dad, you little rascal, if you don't come home, at least call me. Your mom is worried, so call her back as soon as she sees you. Sister, brother, where have you been? Mom is going crazy, please come home, or at least call me back. Biaozi, Lao Yang, where have you been? Your mom called me. Tell me the truth, did you drive your Hennessy Viper to pick up girls and forget the time? Li Weiran, brother Ming, auntie is very worried, can you call me back? It's over. I'm dead this time. Yang Ming got up from the bed immediately. I started to put on my clothes in a panic. At the age of 19, this is probably the first time I stay out all night. Based on Yang Ming's understanding of his mother, he would definitely call the police now. If I don't go back, my family will probably go haywire. Lu Shutong, Yang Ming, where are you? I miss you so much, Tilda. Psycho. I don't miss you at all. After deleting Lu Shutong's text message and blacklisting her, Yang Ming quickly called his mother. Before it could even make a sound, the phone shut down due to low battery. Hold. It's raining cats and dogs. It's all over. It's completely over now. There was no time to wash up, so I just put on my clothes and ran. Half an hour later, when Yang Ming returned home panting, he found the door was not closed. Sure enough, there were 2 policemen standing in the living room. Needless to say, my mother called the police. If it is a blessing, it will not be a disaster. If it is a disaster, you can't avoid it, so go in with gritted teeth. Mom Tilda. Liu Suqing, who was sitting on the sofa, jumped up like a spring, ran over, hugged Yang Ming and started crying. Son, where have you been? I was so worried about you. I thought you had encountered something and you were upset. If anything happened to you, I would not want to live anymore, Tilda. This was the first time Yang Ming saw his mother cry. It's so sad, touching and heartbreaking. He suddenly felt like a piece of shit. Sorry, Mom. Something happened yesterday and my phone ran out of battery, so. He lied. If I tell the truth, I might really get my legs broken. It is unacceptable to forget your mother after you get a wife. Okay, you're back. Suqing, the police comrades are still here. Pay attention to your image, Tilda. Yang Zhongwo glared at Yang Ming fiercely and began to comfort his wife. Yang Mai, who was standing next to him, also breathed a sigh of relief when she saw her brother. Because of this, she didn't go to the cram school today. Okay, since everyone is fine, let's go. The 2 policemen put away their pens and papers. Huh? It's you, young man. You were with Mr. Mu's daughter last night, right, Tilda? Yang Ming looked miserable. How could it be such a coincidence? These 2 policemen turned out to be the same ones who were on duty at Mu Hongli's blind date party yesterday. Whose daughter is this? You little brat, you didn't come home last night because you were with your female classmates. Liu Suqing, who was originally crying while hugging Yang Ming, suddenly changed her expression. Mom! Please listen to my explanation. It's not you. What explanation do you have? You've got a wife and you've forgotten your mother. You dare to stay out all night before you even get married. I'll break your legs. Chapter 26, Daughter-in-Law's Gift. The two policemen looked at each other, both somewhat disappointed. All right. If you have any family conflicts, just negotiate among yourselves. Don't use violence. Liu Suqing put away the broom and forced a smile on her tear-stained face. Don't worry, police comrade, I will definitely not use force. I'm sorry to bother you today, how about staying for lunch? No need. If there's nothing else, we won't disturb the people. The two policemen probably felt that they had said something they shouldn't have, so they looked for an opportunity to get away. As soon as the door was closed, Yang Ming cried out that something was wrong. Come here, you bastard. How old are you when you dare to stay out all night for a woman? I'll break your legs today. Mom, you said you wouldn't do anything. Sure enough, women's mouths can be deceiving. We agreed not to take action. I'm so pissed. This bastard, I was worried about him the whole night and didn't sleep, but his so. You little bastard, get out here. If you have the guts, just hide in your sister's room for the rest of your life and never go out. Before I knew it, this kid had sneaked into my sister's room and locked the door to prevent her from entering. Liu Suqing put her hands on her hips and blocked Yang Mei's door. If you see yourself getting beaten, you'd be a fool not to run away. Although Yang Ming is excellent in both character and academics, it does not mean that he is not a naughty person. When I played basketball in the past, I would either hit someone else's glass or scratch someone else's car. When I got home, I ate my mother's fried bamboo shoots with meat many times. However, Liu Suqing didn't really fight every time. Most of the time, there was loud thunder but little rain, which scared Yang Ming. Every time this happened, Yang Jungwo would start to play the good guy and mediate. Suqing, calm down. Don't let your anger get you in trouble, Tilda. How can I not be angry? This bastard, I was so worried that this bastard might get into trouble, but he is so inconsiderate that he even fools around with his female classmates. Yang Ming, let me tell you, stay away from Lu Shutong. That girl with the last name Lu is not a good person. In the room, Yang Ming glared at his sister Yang Mai fiercely. In this family, the only one who knows that I have a girlfriend is this younger sister who is in the same high school as me. She must have been the one who told the secret, otherwise how could her mother know about Lu Shutong? Sure enough, Yang Mai made a face at him and stuck out her tongue embarrassedly. Do you know that I saw her on the street half a year ago, arm in arm with a man in his car? I didn't tell you before because I was afraid you would be sad. If you dare to let that woman into their house in the future, I will treat you like a son. Lu Shutong is indeed not a good person. It turns out that everything has a traceable path, and her evilness did not happen overnight. Even my mother, a bystander, had already noticed the clues, but it was a pity that I was always in the dark about it. But fortunately, everything is over. Mom! Don't worry, it's not her. Anyone else. My mother and sister said in unison, both with shocked expressions. Brother, do you have another girlfriend? You bastard, you are still young and you don't learn your lesson. You are still dating multiple women? Come out and I will break your legs. Yang Ming. Now the yellow mud has fallen into my crotch and I can't wash it off. You bastard, it's all your fault. What nonsense did you say to Mom? Can you blame me? It was because you didn't put away your love letter and Mom saw it when she was cleaning the room. You know what Mom's temper is like. How dare I not tell the truth when she interrogates me? I am speechless. Did I betray myself? All right, that's enough. The child is already so old, he should have some private space of his own. Besides, it's not even worth it for you to get angry over such a small matter, Tilda, Yang Jungwo advised from the side. It's just a small matter. Yang Jungwo, you make it sound so easy. It seems that this bastard inherited his wicked ways from you. Tell me the truth, are you still in contact with that guy named Lu? Old Yang, who had brought trouble upon himself, looked innocent. Suqing, why are you talking about your son and bringing me into this? It's been so many years, and besides, you already know about it. We broke up long before I met you. Humph. The lower beam is crooked and the upper beam is crooked. All of you, young and old, are bad people. Yang Ming. Yang Jungwo. Yang Mai, Mom. Please don't hurt our friends by mistake. My heart is always with you, Tilda. You're just saying nice things, girl. Why don't you open the door and let me break this bastard's legs? Yang Ming. Yang Mai. The little girl looked at the door handle and was eager to try, but in the end, Yang Ming rolled his eyes and glared back at her. Fortunately, Liu Suqing's anger came and went quickly. After venting, I helped the men, young and old, to make lunch as usual. The good thing about this is that anger never lasts overnight. If Comrade Lao Yang could be more understanding and comfort him, maybe he would feel better right away. It's time to eat, you bastard. There was a banging sound from the dining table outside the door, and Yang Ming knew that this was a step given by his mother. The existence of a step means that the matter is most likely over. Hey, Mom, today's food is so delicious, Tilda, Yang Ming said with a shameless face. It's not shameful to be a bootlicker to your own mother. Get lost. I've drugged you, I'm going to poison you to death, you ungrateful bastard. Hee, I'll eat it even if you drug me. You're my real mother after all, Tilda. Liu Suqing's expression became better now, and she slapped away Yang Ming's dirty hands that were just pinching her with bare hands. No manners. Stop smiling at me and wash your hands. Yang Ming was very happy and took advantage of the situation to get off the hook. While eating, he seemingly casually pushed the bracelet box in front of his mother. What? Liu Suqing glared at her son. A gift from your wife, Tilda. Chapter 27. Happy Yang Mai. The couple looked at each other, and Yang Jungwo clearly saw Liu Suqing's eyes light up. Wow, what a beautiful jade bracelet. Brother, must it be expensive? In order to make up for her previous mistake, Yang Mai, the clever little girl, acted as Yang Ming's supporting actor. Of course not, it cost 3,000 Tilda. Yang Ming wanted to say 300, but changed his mind and said 3,000. 3,000. Liu Suqing was shocked. Pushed it back quickly. You little bastard, how can you accept such an expensive gift? Return it to them immediately after dinner. We can't afford it, Tilda. Mom, if I could return it, I would have done it for you a long time ago, but your wife said that if you don't accept it, she will be too embarrassed to come to your house next time, Tilda. Liu Suqing looked embarrassed, but this is too expensive, Tilda. 3,000 yuan is indeed too expensive for Liu Suqing, who earns more than 5,000 yuan a month. This was a test from Yang Ming. My mother couldn't even accept something worth 3,000 yuan, so if I told them that I had 3 billion yuan, would they go crazy or think I was crazy? This has to be a process, so during this year of repeating, I have to do something to make them slowly accept the awesome me. It's not expensive, Mom. You don't know that your wife spends tens of thousands on a piece of clothing. It was only because I told her not to buy expensive things that she chose this 3,000 bracelet. Otherwise, she would have bought you the imperial green one that costs tens of thousands. Hiss. Liu Suqing gasped in fright. Tens of thousands. She looked at Yang Ming seriously and said, Son, although our family is poor, we have great ambitions. You must not do anything to disgrace your ancestors for money. Tell me the truth, are you being kept by some rich woman? Puff. Yang Mai, who was sitting opposite Yang Ming, had rice sprayed all over her face by Yang Ming. Elder brother. Yang Mai said angrily, Mom. Look at him. A look of disgust. Mother Yang glared at Yang Ming fiercely, Don't interrupt me, tell the truth. The serious tone showed that Liu Suqing was not joking. This cannot be blamed on her. Young people nowadays always say things like Auntie, I don't want to work hard anymore. Liu Suqing was afraid that her son would be poisoned by these bad habits. Mom, what are you thinking? It's not what you think. After much explanation and persuasion, Yang Ming finally managed to resolve the matter. My younger sister Yang Mai also came out after washing her face full of disgust and her eyes full of resentment. What are you looking at? Move, this is for you. Yang Ming pushed their pieshua box over. I have one too. How much is mine? 30. Yang Ming said unhappily. Mom's 3,000, why is it only 30 of mine? Brother, you can't bully me like this. Yang Mei's smiling face fell in an instant. As a girl, everyone has a competitive spirit. Yang Ming had a blank expression on his face, and deliberately teased, Originally, your sister-in-law was going to buy you one that was similar to ours, but I said that the money-losing item in my house was only worth 30. Yang Ming. You are the money loser, your whole family is a money loser. Mom! Yang Mai scolded you. The little girl gnashed her teeth, wishing she could bite Yang Ming. Mom, look at him, he only knows how to bully me. Alright. Can't you tell that your brother is joking with you? Open it and take a look. There must be more than 30 tilde. Liu Suqing understood her son and daughter, especially that bastard Yang Ming. As soon as he stuck his butt out, Liu Suqing knew what he was going to fart. Really? Wow. Swarovski, I've been eyeing this pendant for a long time. Oh, no, that's not right. I saw my classmate wearing the Swarovski one, and it wasn't as exquisite as this one, and it wasn't a pink diamond. Wow. It's falling snow. Tiffany's falling snow. Brother. I remember this. My sister-in-law is so generous. Yang Mail was going crazy. Yang Ming didn't expect that this little girl was actually a connoisseur. That's right, even in high school, girls have some understanding of these shiny things. Even if you don't have the conditions, the internet is so developed now that you can find everything online. Seeing her daughter so happy, Liu Suqing couldn't help but ask, why? Is this necklace very expensive? Of course, Mom, let me tell you, this is a classic design by a famous Italian designer. You know the Swarovski snowflake design? It's a replica of this one. Last time I saw it online, it cost about 1 or 200 hundreds tilde. Before he could finish his words, Yang Ming glared back at him with a murderous look. Yang Mai quickly changed her words and said only 1 or 200. Yes, if my mother knew that a necklace like this cost 10 or 20,000, she would go crazy. Such an expensive thing was given away without any reason. My brother couldn't be really being kept by a rich woman. Judging from this, the bracelet my mother owns must cost more than 2 or 3,000, at least 2 or 3,000. Thinking of this, Yang Mai gave Yang Ming a meaningful look, with a strong threatening tone in her eyes. It's as if saying, damn brother, be nicer to me in the future, or I will tell all your secrets to Mom.